Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to call this meeting of the Tallahassee City Commission to order. It is April 15th. Don't forget to pay your taxes today, right? And we have a full agenda with a public hearing this evening as well. And boy, we're going to start off with a bang. We've got a lot of great proclamations to celebrate today. It is my honor and privilege to invite my dear friend, Pastor Clarence Jackson of Destiny Church, Tallahassee, to provide the invocation. But what you might not know about the pastor, once a mayor, always a mayor, and he is the former mayor of Gretna, Florida.
Gretna.
Pastor Mayor, it is great to see you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the invocation.
Thanks so much, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Thank you for the invite. Let us bow. God, we come to you today completely in awe of how good you continue to be to us, in spite of how we disappoint you. Though we've experienced some recent difficult days and seemingly live in a world without humanity, we still come not to complain, not in anxiousness or worry, but we come to tell you thank you and to ask you to honor our hope for a brighter tomorrow, for a world, for our state, for our city. We stand before you in full confidence that you are still Lord over our lives. Wow. We stand in full faith that you are still in control, and we are certain that you are still good. You keep providing for us. You keep making a way for us. You keep being better to us than we are to ourselves. And with gratitude in our hearts, we come to you right now specifically asking you to bless these civic leaders as they endeavor to represent and meet the needs of their constituency and this beautiful city of ours. May there be a silver lining of understanding and reasoning in this meeting that will produce positive results for the city of Tallahassee now and for many years to come. When differences may rise, grant us civility. Where disagreements may persist, may we each grant each other grace. Where difficulties remain, give this body the answers as they do their best job to keep Tallahassee the all-American city it has always been. Wow. In the mighty and matchless name of Jesus we pray. Let every heart say amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'll join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Jack, thank you so much for being with us. Mr. Mayor, it's always great to see you, and you are always welcome in these chambers. It is my understanding that Commissioner Porter will be participating telephonically today. Do we have Commissioner Porter on the line?
Yes, Mr. Mayor.
Excellent. May I have a motion to allow Commissioner Porter to participate? Properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. Commissioner Porter, if I get ahead of myself and forget to recognize you, please just jump in at any time, and I will do my best to remember that you are with us on the phone as well. Do we have any agenda modifications, Mr. Manager?
Yes, sir, Mr. Mayor. Item 5.07 and item 8.10 have been added to your agenda, and item 8.02 has been pulled at the request of Commissioner Matlow.
Okay. Any questions on the agenda modification? All right. Colleagues, would you like to join me down at the well for some very significant presentations today? All right, first and foremost, I would like to invite all of my friends from Florida AARP to please come and join us at the well. Yay, my people. It is great to have you here. I am a proud member, me too. Although I know I don't look old enough, but I'm a proud member of the AARP. All right, while Curtis is hugging everybody, let me go ahead and get started. Ladies and gentlemen, from the governing body of the City of Tallahassee, a proclamation. Whereas Americans lose billions of dollars each year to fraud, with older adults disproportionately affected, making prevention, education, and strong consumer protections more important than ever. And whereas the Federal Trade Commission estimates fraud losses in 2024 were as high as $196 billion nationwide, with up to $81.5 billion stolen from older adults. And whereas Floridians reported 1.14 billion fraud losses in 2025, according to the FTC, and whereas older adults who experience fraud have a life-changing amount of money stolen from them 4 times that of the average across all ages. And whereas older adults are often affected by fraud when they are no longer working or already financially strained and unable to recover the money that was stolen, and whereas public awareness and education are critical in helping consumers recognize the common red flags of scams and keeping them informed about emerging fraud trends, and whereas our communities, which include nonprofit organizations, law enforcement, and public officials, are working to strengthen consumer protections, provide victim support, and advocate for stronger measures to prevent and prosecute fraud at the local, state, and federal levels. And whereas preventing fraud is a shared responsibility and increasing awareness during Fraud Prevention Month empowers all Tallahasseans, especially older adults, to protect themselves, their families, and their financial security. Now, therefore, I, John Evans Daly, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Tallahassee, do hereby recognize April as Fraud Prevention Month and encourage all Tallahasseans to learn the red flags of scams and to support community advocacy efforts that help prevent scams, protect consumers, and assist with fraud victims. Read into the record in front of each and every one of you here today, signed with my signature, John E. Daly, dated April 15th, 2026. It's my honor to present this proclamation to the AARP of Florida. Anybody want to say a couple words?
Thank you so much, Mayor Daley and Commissioners. Do want to say AARP at its heart is an advocacy organization. Membership helps to fuel what we do, but outreach and engagement is really where we're focused. Fraud prevention, caregiving, social security, just a variety of issues that affect all of us, because if older adults are doing well and thriving, we are all thriving. On the back table there is a flyer for our free shred event. Come through with your sensitive information, drive-through line, shred it on site in a mobile truck for free. That's at Bethel AME on Saturday, April 25th, but we do want to focus on that fraud prevention work and have a local presence here to support individuals of all ages. So we appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Can we
it.
get a picture?
Yes.
Absolutely.
God bless you. Good to see you too.
All right, I would love to invite, let's see here. We got Sean, Charlie, Shea, Elliot, and we got Chan from Kimberly Horn that's here with us today. Y'all come on down. Come join me real quick for Landscape Architectural Month. It's great to have y'all here. Ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are known for our natural beauty internationally here in Tallahassee, and well, this is part of the team that makes it happen. We love and appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, from the governing body of the City of Tallahassee, a proclamation. Whereas landscape architecture is a multifaceted profession that encompasses the analysis, design, planning, management, and stewardship of natural and built environment, playing a crucial role in shaping the spaces where people live, work, and play. And whereas landscape architects design and create community master plans, walkable neighborhoods, multimodal transportation networks, green stormwater systems, and accessible space such as public plazas, parks, schools, residential common areas, playgrounds, and trails that lead to active lifestyles and healthy communities. Whereas landscape architects are STEM professionals leveraging science, technology, engineering, and mathematics knowledge to address the most pressing challenges facing its communities, fostering innovation, research, and leadership in the field. And whereas landscape architects, as licensed professionals, have consistently demonstrated their commitment to public health, safety, and welfare by designing accessible and safe public spaces, promoting active lifestyles, and fostering resilient and sustainable outdoor environments in the City of Tallahassee. And whereas the City of Tallahassee recognizes the vital role of licensed landscape architects in shaping healthy, equitable, safe, and resilient public and private outdoor spaces, contributing to the overall well-being of its citizens, and whereas the City of Tallahassee celebrates the economic benefit derived from licensed landscape architects, acknowledging their role in creating, inviting, and safe spaces that contribute to the state's economy while simultaneously preserving the environment and ecological systems. Now, therefore, I, John Evans Daly, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Tallahassee, do hereby recognize April as Landscape Architect Month, and recognizing the enduring contributions of landscape architects to the well-being and prosperity of the City of Tallahassee, read into the record in front of each and every one of you here today, signed with my signature, John E. Daly, dated April 15th, 2026. Thank you on behalf of the City of Tallahassee for all that y'all do to help us out. Chan, thank you for coming out as well, representing Kimberly Horns. Who would like to have an opportunity to speak? Come on down. Yeah.
Well, thank you again, Mayor Daley and the City of Tallahassee. This is the third time I think we've come here, 3 years in a row. And as landscape architects, simply put, excuse me, we try to stitch the natural and the built environment. Excuse me. And I look around and I see people who have helped bring landscape architecture to the forefront. Wayne Tedder, Ashley Edwards, so many others out here. John worked with you, and stitching that into this community, we like to think that we're trying to help make this a better place to live. And I think City of Tallahassee is a shining example when you look at projects like Cascades Park, FAMU Way, you look at the Northeast Park under construction, or what is the park up in Market District? Yeah. And all these public spaces being built for everyone to use, whether they are rich, poor, young, old, able-bodied or not. And we just want to say thank you so much for letting us play a part in the community. And one last person I want to point out here is Jeff Castor. Yep. He was a mentor of mine and still is for 20 years. He was a state landscape architect for Florida Department of Transportation, and he's a resident of our community, and he's got far-reaching effects on the whole state of Florida to make it a better place to live. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we get a picture? Ladies and gentlemen, I am very proud to announce that Commissioner Richardson just stepped away for a second to accept a phone call. His daughter, who was flying missions over in the Middle East, has just arrived stateside here in the United States. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Oh, here we go. Can we have the UUPI staff come on down, bring the hardware, bring it all. Who do we have from UUPI? Safe Digging Month. Curtis, you're going to accept this on behalf of UUPI then. Safe Digging Month, come on down. Angie, come on, Angie, my bad, I'm getting it all going. We got all the departments here being recognized for all the amazing work. My apologies, make note, I finally made a mistake, right? Come on over. Ladies and gentlemen, from the governing body of the City of Tallahassee, a proclamation. Whereas the City of Tallahassee proudly serves more than 135,000 utility customers annually and maintains thousands of miles of vital underground utility infrastructure, and whereas each year Tallahassee's underground utility infrastructure is jeopardized by unintentional damage by those who fail to contact 811 to have underground lines located prior to digging, and whereas unintended consequences such as utility service interruption, personal injury, environmental contamination, property damage, and even death are the potential results of failing to locate underground lines before digging. And whereas Sunshine 811 and the City of Tallahassee Utilities actively work to prevent these damages through education on safe digging practices and promoting 811, the national call before you dig number. And whereas designated by the Federal Communications Commission in 2005, Sunshine 811 provides excavators and homeowners a simple, free resource to request underground utilities be located and marked at the intended dig site. And whereas excavators and homeowners can save time and money while ensuring reliable utility service for their communities and preventing serious injury to themselves and others by contacting 811 at least 2 business days before beginning any digging project, waiting to locate marks by local utilities, protecting the marks so they remain visible throughout the project, and digging with care around the marks. And whereas all parties agree that safe digging is a shared responsibility that helps protect Tallahassee's people, property, and environment, now therefore I, John Evans Daly, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Tallahassee, do hereby recognize April as Safe Digging Month, read into the record in front of each and every one of you, signed with my signature, John E. Daly, dated April 15th, 2026. Thank you all for everything that you do. You are the best in the nation, and it's so proud to have you here with us today. Who would like to speak on behalf?
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioners, for recognizing Safe Digging Month and our efforts of our damage prevention program. The key word that you mentioned there was free.
Right.
It doesn't cost anything to call 811 and call before you dig. That helps us and it helps you protect our citizens, our employees, and our infrastructure, and allows us to continue to provide safe, reliable, and affordable services. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Can we get a picture? All right, it is my honor and privilege to invite our dear friend Nicole Everett to come join us, please. Nicole, welcome to City of Tallahassee City Chambers. It is an honor to have you here. Cue the music. Cue the music. Cue the music. Ladies and gentlemen, from the governing body of the City of Tallahassee, a proclamation. Whereas Conversations with Nicole, CWN, broadcast its first show on March 2nd, 2016 with host Nicole Everett and producer Gerald Tukes at Nefertiti's Restaurant in Tallahassee, Florida. And whereas CWN has dedicated the past decade to inspiring and empowering our community through engaging conversations, impactful stories, and valuable resources. And whereas CWN has consistently highlighted the importance of mental health and wellness, serving as a beacon of hope and encouragement for individuals to prioritize their well-being. And whereas CWN has recognized and celebrated community champions, individuals and organizations who have made significant contributions toward fostering a stronger, healthier, and more resilient community. And whereas CWN has participated in the Greater Tallahassee Chamber of Commerce Classroom Connection Initiative and partnered with Bond Elementary School annually since 2020, and has served 6 classes of students through reading, gardening, yoga, problem solving, and life skills. And whereas CWN, through its efforts, the show has helped countless listeners to discover and utilize their gifts and talents, encouraging all to function at their highest potential. And now, therefore, I, John Evans Daly, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the City of Tallahassee, do hereby recognize Conversations with Nicole and celebrate its 10 years of dedicated service, community advocacy, and support for mental health and wellness. Read into the record in front of each and every one of you here today, signed with my signature, John E. Daly, dated April 15th, 2026. Nicole, on behalf of the city, thank you for all you do for our community.
Wow, thank you so much. When I came here in 1980, Daryl Jones, we're not gonna say what year. Listen, as a young girl matriculating to the Florida Agricultural and Mechanical University, I had no idea that my stay would be this long, but I'm grateful to the City of Tallahassee for raising me and for allowing me to share the stories of the great people of this great city. So may we continue to share those stories, your passions, your purpose, your gifts, your talents, and do greater works. Thank you.
Thank you. Can we get a picture? All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to invite to the well our good friends from the Florida Municipal Electric Association. Elizabeth, come on down for a special presentation, and I'm going to let you just take over from here.
Good afternoon, Mayor, Commissioners, and City leadership. Yeah, come on down.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, bring the hardware.
It's going to take a while.
Hardware
Okay, they're going to be chatting. All right.
Oh, my goodness.
I told you.
You had to bring the babies over to U-Haul, didn't you?
Wow. Was there anything left of the competition? I mean, you brought it all home. Wow. That is amazing.
All right. My name is Elizabeth Bendeley, and I serve as Director of Member Services at the Florida Municipal Electric Association. FMEA is the statewide trade association representing Florida's 33 public power utilities, including Tallahassee, and we are also lucky to call Tallahassee our home as well. Today, I'm here on behalf of FMEA to recognize the City of Tallahassee for 2 outstanding achievements. First, congratulations on earning the 2025 FMEA Safety Award. In one of the most dangerous professions, this recognition reflects a true commitment to ensuring your crews go home safe every day, whether that's here in town or when called out to provide mutual aid. That kind of safety culture doesn't happen by accident. It's built through leadership, discipline, and constant care for one another. Congratulations on your safety record. Here. And second, that same commitment to safety was on full display in your incredible year at the 25th anniversary of the Florida Lineman Competition. FMEA holds this competition every year as an opportunity to showcase line workers' skills in a safe environment while competing for top honors. In addition to hosting this event last month at Appalachia Regional Park, featuring 15 utilities, including 85 journeymen and 70 apprentices, your competing teams rose to the top, winning both first, fourth, and fifth overall among journeyman teams and first, second, and third overall among apprentices.
How about that?
To sweep both divisions in a milestone year and on your home turf is truly remarkable. And what makes it even more impressive is that this continues a long tradition. Tallahassee's line workers have taken home more top trophies than any other utility, earning 65 first through fifth place awards over our event's 25-year history.
Wow, that's amazing.
These accomplishments reflect exactly what public power is all about: a commitment to safety, excellence in the field, and an investment in your people and your neighbors. On behalf of FMEA, congratulations to the City of Tallahassee, and thank you for setting the standard for utilities across Florida and the United States. Thank you.
Oh, man. Yeah, so I'm going to actually use this as an opportunity to brag a little further. I think Elizabeth done a good job of highlighting the competition and what it means to these guys, but I will say, just to reiterate some of what she said, 33 municipal utilities in the state of Florida, 25 years of competition, 8-time overall champion.
Wow. Yeah.
That's a lot to be said. These guys are truly the best in the business. They work hard. Everybody else chases them. When your lights go out, these are the ones that are there to restore it. And so we need to be thankful for that. Their hard work, their dedication, that's what sets them apart, and I'm proud to be a part of this team, so thank you.
Excellent. Tony.
Mayor, Commissioners, thank you again for recognition. Mike, you said it perfectly. I'd like to add just a couple things. This is a testament of what these guys do every day, day in and day out. The way they train, the safe way they work, the way they watch out for each other. I'm so proud to be part of this team. It's also a reason why when we have mutual aid events and there's emergencies in neighboring communities, we're regularly called out first. People reach out, they want us there first. And they also release us last. Means when they're done with all the restoration, they want to make sure we're there till the bitter end. And it's because of the work that these guys do. But more importantly, one thing I want to highlight is the bright future that we've got. So just again, to reiterate, we took the top 3 apprentice spots in the state. So that's a testament to our apprentices, and it shows what a bright future we've got here with Tallahassee. And we're really looking forward to being back here next year at commission meeting. So, nice. Thank you.
Can we get a picture?
Get around the trophy.
So as we're organizing for the picture, a couple of other comments. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a reason why this team has been named the best in the country in the past couple of years. There is a reason why you see all this hardware. They truly are the best. Tony, Mike, thank you for your leadership. Gentlemen, thank you for what you do. Ladies and gentlemen, when the storms come, these are the faces. These are the individuals that are leaving their family before the storm gets here, and they're embedding all over the community. And while we're at home taking care of our families, they're taking care of us. This is the face of the City of Tallahassee Electric Utility Department, and they do a great job. They also travel all over the country, literally. When other communities are in need and they call us, they respond, and they leave their families, sometimes for weeks at a time. We don't say we thank you enough, but we love you. You do a great job, and thanks for everything that you do. And on a final note, the Florida Municipal Electric Association is a godsend association for the City of Tallahassee. They're incredible partners during a time of crisis and the storm event. You do not see FMEA, but they are the ones that are helping us coordinate with all of our partners, not only in the state of Florida, but across the southeastern United States. And y'all do a tremendous job, and I am so proud to have y'all here in Tallahassee as well. Thank you. Thank you so much. Tony, thank you. Appreciate you, man. I would like to invite at this time our dear friends from Star Metro to please come join us, along with our fleet employees that are here as well, as we continue to celebrate. Bring the hardware. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, City of Tallahassee Fleet Department is also the #1 fleet department in the United States of America. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to recognize the incredible talent, dedication, and expertise of the people who literally keep our city moving, our fleet management and Star Metro team. The work these professionals do often happens behind the scenes. Before most of us have even had our first cup of coffee in the morning, our bus operators are out on the roads ensuring our residents get to work, they get to school, they're at medical appointments safely. And meanwhile, our fleet technicians are in the garages. And once again, let me tell you, and I'm not making this up, they are literally the #1 fleet department in the United States of America. Our fleet technicians are in the garages turning wrenches and running diagnostics to ensure that every city vehicle, from our police cruisers and fire engines to our garbage trucks and public works equipment, is all in peak condition. You may recall that we have the #1 fleet in the nation, having received the 2025 Leading Fleet Award. But recently, at the Florida Triple Crown Rodeo, our employees competed against the most skilled operators and technicians from across the entire state of Florida. They were tested on precision, safety, mechanical expertise, and quick thinking under pressure. I am thrilled to say that they did not just compete, they dominated, hence the hardware. First place, paratransit technician, Trevor Morea. Trevor? Step forward. Just stand there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2026 Grand Champions Paratransit Division, Trevor Morea and Rachel James. The highest AC module score, Trevor Morea. The highest wheelchair lift module score, Trevor Morea. The highest written test score, Davis Hammond, Lloyd Hines, and Derek Eastabrook. The highest bus inspection score, Davis Hammond, Lloyd Hines, and Derek Eastabrook. To our winners, these awards are phenomenal personal achievements, but they mean so much more than a trophy in a display case. They reflect the standard of excellence that you bring to your jobs every single day. And when our mechanics are the best in the state, it means our first responders are safe on their way to emergencies. When our bus operators are the best in the state, it means our community is in the safest possible hands. You don't just drive and repair vehicles, you deliver public safety, reliability, and peace of mind to the people of Tallahassee. And on behalf of the City Commission and all of our residents, thank you for your hard work, your long hours, your unwavering commitment to excellence. We are incredibly proud to work with you each and every day. Let me invite, first of all, Roger Godwin, Superintendent and Fleet, and Jared Lee, Star Metro Operations Manager, to provide brief remarks, and then you award winners, come on down. You get an opportunity to say a few things too, Trevor, if you want. Absolutely.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Manager. We're proud to share that Fleet and Star Metro team recently competed in the Florida Triple Crown Rodeo. It's the state of Florida's premier transit skills competition. This event evaluates bus operators and maintenance technicians on real-world competencies most essential to public transportation: safety, precision, and technical excellence. These are the same qualities our team demonstrates every day in service to the citizens of Tallahassee. Our team competed against some of the most skilled transit professionals in the state, returned with top honors. Their success reflects the commitment to continuous improvement, professionalism, and pride that define our three-time All-American city. We're honored to recognize the employees who represented the City of Tallahassee with distinction. Again, Davis Hammond, Lloyd Hines, Derek Esterbrook, and Trevor Morea.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, Mr. Manager, several of our transit operators also competed at the local level, showcasing the operational excellence that they exhibit each day. Operator Rachel James advanced to the state competition, where she and Trevor Morea earned the Grand Champion Award as the top paratransit operator and technician team in the state of Florida. We are immensely honored to represent this city and sincerely appreciate your continued support. One city, one team.
Good afternoon. I'm Rachel James. I am honored to be here with this great team of mine. It is a pleasure. Y'all, I'm so excited. I'm trying to. But I am delighted to be a part of this team. I am happy to be a part of this team. This is my family. I spend more time with them than I spend with my family. So I am looking forward to the great success that we are going to help move the city forward and be the #1 in the nation, and everyone will model after our transit department.
Bring it with you.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity our supervisors have given us to be able to even participate in these events. Without them, we wouldn't be able to do any of this. And I obviously, all of my other coworkers over here couldn't do it without them. I just want to thank them, my family for supporting me, and thank God for all the great things he's done for us.
Amen.
Thank you.
I just want to say I'm pleased to be a part of such a great group of ladies and gentlemen that work with us each and every day to help keep us moving forward. And I'm just so honored to be a part of this team. Thank you all very much.
And you are.
Thank you.
Say who you are.
Angela. Yeah. I'm Angela Baldwin. I'm the Chief Transit Officer of Star Metro.
And while we're organizing for a picture real quick, just a couple other comments. Star Metro, y'all are absolutely incredible. You keep this city moving all hours of the day and night, and it is just an honor to work with you. And I am so excited about the Southside Transit Center and everything to come. Fleet, I don't even know where to begin. So folks, let me put it to you in perspective again. Fleet department is what keeps every vehicle at City of Tallahassee up and running. They're also the ones that when the storms come, they too are leaving their families. They too are embedding before a storm comes. They're the ones that are keeping all of the vehicles up and running so that we can have the storm response. When the fire department sends the USAR team out to other communities for search and rescue, Fleet goes with them to keep their vehicles up and running. They play such an incredible role and such an important role with the city of Tallahassee. And quite frankly, many times both Star Metro and Fleet fly under the radar. But I am so glad and so proud to have the opportunity to highlight the incredible work that you do. #1 in the nation, Fleet. Great job. Star Metro, y'all rock. Thank you so much. For our final presentation of the afternoon, it's my honor and privilege to invite Matt Singer with the Florida League of Cities to please come forward. Ladies and gentlemen, it's no secret that my first job straight out of college was as a lobbyist for the Florida League of Cities, and I have enjoyed working with the Florida League of Cities and the Florida League of Mayors for over 30 years. We are heavily invested in the Florida League of Cities. Diane Williams-Cox serves on the board of directors. I have served on the board of directors. Commissioner Curtis Richardson serves on the board of the Insurance Trust. Right. And Investment Trust. Our city manager has served in leadership positions with the Florida City County Management Association, and we play a very important role, unlike any other city in the state of Florida, because we are the capital city. And during the legislative session, many times the league depends on us to help carry the message or to host other communities as they come as well. So Matt, thank you so much for being here with us today. I turn the podium over to you.
Well, thank you, Mayor, and good morning or good afternoon, everyone. Matt Singer, Florida League of Cities, and I get the distinct honor of representing the league here today to turn the tune of this and thank the commission and staff for their hard work this past year in advocating for not only the city, but for cities across the state and for you all, for residents. The Florida League of Cities has been around advocating for home rule and defending home rule, or the idea that local voices make the best local choices. We believe when local governments have the authority to make decisions that are best for the people, they make the right ones. And these leaders that we are recognizing today have certainly demonstrated that. Today, we're recognizing Mayor Daley, Mayor Pro Tem Richardson, Commissioner Williams-Cox, Manager Goad, and Director Whitley for their service throughout the 2026 legislative session, answering the call and getting the feedback that we needed at the right time. So much of this legislative process is about responding and getting the information to the state legislature at the right time and being so proximate to the state capitol. These leaders demonstrate this every day and have been immensely helpful, not only to me, to our team of advocates, but also to leaders across the state. Like you said, Mayor, these people serve in many different ways and share not only the great ideas that the city of Tallahassee does with cities across the state and with other local officials, but they're also bringing in great ideas from other places across the state to make sure that the city of Tallahassee serves its residents the best. So please join me in congratulating these 5 as home rule heroes. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This one on top is What a great way to start the meeting. Right. Mr. Manager, do we have any appearances by other governmental entities before the City Commission?
No, sir.
Do we have any announcements to come before the City Commission?
No, sir.
We are on the consent agenda. Mr. Clerk, do we have any public comment on any consent agenda items?
No, sir. Move
Okay.
consent agenda, Mr. Mayor.
Sure. 8.02 has been pulled, so there is a motion for the rest of the consent agenda made by the Mayor Pro Tem, seconded by Commissioner Williams-Cox. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. We are on item number 9.02, the item that was pulled from the consent agenda. Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir. This item seeks approval for the selection committee recommendations to authorize to conduct utility impact studies and negotiate and execute contracts for solar power generation energy storage. The recommended action is to approve the committee's recommendation for a slate of solar and energy storage proposals, authorize staff to conduct utility studies and economic analyses to assess interconnection feasibility and system impacts, and authorize me or my designee to negotiate and enter into those contracts. Michael Olson is our Assistant General Manager of Integrated System Planning. You're very familiar with Michael. He's at the tip of the spear as it relates to our renewable energy plan. He's here to answer any questions you have on this item.
Excellent. I'm sorry, who pulled?
Commissioner Matlow.
Commissioner Matlow, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So, Mr. Manager, I was hoping to get some more information on the individual projects. As I understand it, this item would kind of authorize the study to go see how they would work, what the actual rates would be, and the siting process would be along with that. At what point would we be able to see what you want to move forward with? This doesn't contemplate moving forward with any of the individual projects, but at which point will the City Commission have an opportunity to see what's being proposed, where it's being proposed, what the cost is?
Yes, Michael Olson can answer those, sir.
Michael, good to see you, man.
Good to see you, Mr. Mayor, commissioners, city manager, public officials. Commissioner Matlow, so as part of the request for proposals, we received proposals for 25 different solar and energy storage projects that had specific locations and contemplated connection to our electric grid. A selection committee reviewed both from a technical and an economic. We looked at sort of the levelized or unit cost of all of these and determined there were 6 specific locations among 5 vendors that had both the value and the potential to be good supports for our electric system. So the item seeks to the approval from the commission to further study the specifics at each of these 6 locations, the specifics of that interconnection, what upgrades we may need to do to our system versus what might be carried by the project, whether that's solar or energy storage. And then from those studies to then negotiate sort of the final price. So what we're bringing before you are 6 vetted projects that we think bring good value and technical promise to our electric utility. But before we get to signing that contract, we need to do that deeper system impact studies. And so that's the stage we're at for this summer.
Okay. And Mr. Manager, as I understand this item, that then after those studies are done, you can enter into any or all of the proposals here that we see. Is that correct?
Mr. Olson.
Yeah, Michael.
Yes, Mr. Commissioner. So the item was set up in a way that doesn't necessarily guarantee any one or bundle. It'll be a function of the outcome of the studies, what blend. We'll look at each project individually, and then we'll look at them in combinations to understand what the individual and holistic impacts are, and then as part of that process, understanding final cost, that may result in one or more projects going through to completion.
Well, first off, let me just say great work. There's some very ambitious, I think, projects on this list, some of them quite a bit larger even than our existing solar farms at the airport. My only hesitation on the item, I think we should move forward with the study. I would just like a check-in when we know the final projects that we'd like to enter into agreements with, to then come back to the City Commission when we know we have an opportunity to see the financial aspects of it, as well as the individual siting locations and anything else that may come up as a result. So I'd like to make a motion that we move forward with the study as proposed, and then bring back for final approval, entering into the contracts with any of these projects.
So move forward with the study, but to bring it back and have one check-in before giving the city manager or his designee the authorization to go forward and just negotiate and enter into the contracts.
Correct.
Is there a second to that motion?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Porter. Okay, well, first of all, I'm sorry, do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Okay, we can enter into a discussion. Colleagues?
I'm just not sure, Mayor, why we need to come back.
Yeah.
I mean, the city manager and his staff are more experts at this than we are. And if a study is provided, I mean, the study is open to the public for everyone to review. I'm not sure why we need to bring it back to the commission to do what?
Sure.
To approve it?
Okay.
How do we know what it is that we're approving?
Okay, so Mayor Pro Tem.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I want to compliment staff for the work that you all have done. It's been very thorough. I don't know why we would need to come back before the commission when you've got the expertise, you've done the work, you've made this presentation today, and I'm comfortable with where we are based on the work that you all have done to this point with the experts. And so I would be okay with moving forward based on your recommendation.
Is that a substitute motion for option number one?
That's a substitute motion,
Second.
That's
Mr. Mayor.
okay, and seconded by Commissioner Williams-Cox. Commissioner Matlow, follow up?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. And I can see where this vote is going. But, just on the record, we're contemplating solar facilities that are more than 3 times the size and scale of what we've done on the existing airport solar farms without anything except a picture with icons on it. We don't know the siting locations. We don't know the financial impacts. We don't know the cost. We don't know the cost of electricity that will be generated and paid to the vendors. We are absent of all the information as an elected body to make an informed decision on this. We've seen other utilities around the state enter into unadvisable contracts and had very adverse impacts to their utility because of it. I think it's our responsibility to do our own due diligence. I respect staff's opinion. I respect what they would bring back, but I don't feel comfortable saying, here are 6 projects, we might build 1, we might build 6, we don't know, and then we'll never know. It's going to get approved today. That's my issue. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure. Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't see the harm in having it come back to us, so that's why I support doing so. I support this initiative. Look forward to what we find, but that's where I'm at. I think it's just disappointing that there wouldn't be that willingness to compromise when a commissioner asks for something to come back. I don't really see the reason why it couldn't. Thank you.
Thank you. I support the substitute motion on the table as well. All those in favor of the substitute motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Passes 3-2 with Commissioner Matlow and Commissioner Porter in dissent. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, a point of personal privilege.
Sure.
We have another mayor in the audience who's joined us, Mayor Jamarian Moore, the mayor of Madison, Florida.
Where's the
The
mayor?
Grand Municipality of Madison, Florida.
Mayor, I didn't even see you. It's good to see you. Thanks for joining us. My apologies. All right, do we have any other items that have been pulled from the consent agenda? No?
No, sir.
We're on City Commission, 10.01 Sinking Fund Commission appointment. Mr. Clerk.
Thank you, Mayor. Nan Hillis is currently serving a term on the Sinking Fund Commission. That term expires at the end of May. She's eligible and interested in reappointment, so this item recommends Nan Hillis for reappointment.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Is there any motion?
So moved.
Properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously, 5-0. We're on item number 10.02. Mr. Clerk.
Item 10.02 deals with the Minority Women and Small Business Enterprise Citizen Advisory Committee. There are 2 city-appointed seats with terms expiring on April 30th, 2026. George Johnson Jr. and Tracy Cohen are each currently serving. Both are eligible and interested in reappointment. This item recommends their reappointment.
Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
All right.
So move.
Properly moved by Commissioner
Second.
Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes unanimously, 5-0. Item 10.03, Mr. Clerk.
10.03 concerns the Special Events Advisory Committee. For this committee, each of the names before you are direct appointments from a member of the City Commission. They're brought for your ratification, as is our custom when direct appointments are made. In this case, Mayor Daley's appointee, Paula DeBowles Johnson, would be reappointed. Commissioner Matlow's appointee, Jennifer Humayan, would be appointed for a first term, and Commissioner Williams-Cox's appointee, Quentin Powell, would also be appointed to serve a first term. The option one, as it's listed two of those three, but all three are recommended for reappointment.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Do we have any direction, colleagues?
So move.
Second.
Properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes unanimously, 5-0. Do we have any other appointments to come before us, Mr. Clerk?
No, sir.
We're on the introduction of ordinances. We have two this evening. Madam Attorney, 11.01.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 11.01 is the introduction of ordinance number 26-0-02. An ordinance of the City of Tallahassee adopting text amendments to the Tallahassee-Leon County 2050 Comprehensive Plan, amending the intergovernmental coordination element, adding text to policy 1.8.2, amending the land use and mobility element policy 2.8.10, suburban mixed use commercial future land use category to clarify Mahan Gateway corridor nodes, amending the land use and mobility element policy 2.8.7, lake protection future land use category to identify residential density for the Bannerman Road, Bullheadley Road Lake Protection Node, providing for severability and conflicts, and providing an effective date. The recommended action is option one, introduce ordinance number 26-0-02 and set the adoption public hearing for May 13, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the City of Tallahassee City Commission chambers at City Hall.
Thank you, Madam Attorney. The recommended action is ceremonial to introduce the ordinance. I will call. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
All right. Motion for option one.
So move, Mr. Chairman.
Properly moved by the Mayor Pro
Mayor.
Tem. Seconded by Commissioner Williams-Cox. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes unanimously, 5-0. Madam Attorney, 11.02.
Item number 11.02 is the introduction of ordinance number 26-0-08, an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, amending chapters 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 10 of the Land Development Code, providing for conflicts, providing for severability, and providing for an effective date. The recommended action is option one, introduce ordinance number 26-0-08 and set the first public hearing for May 13, 2026, and the second and final public hearing for June 10, 2026 at 6 p.m. in the City of Tallahassee City Commission chambers at City Hall.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
All right, option number one is really just to ratify the introduction of the ordinance. Is there a motion?
Second.
Okay, I'll move it and seconded by by the Mayor Pro Tem.
Williams-Cox.
Oh, Commissioner Williams-Cox made the motion, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes unanimously, 5-0. Madam Attorney, do we have any other ordinances that need introduction tonight?
We do not.
All right, we're on policy formation direction, 12.01. Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir. Thank you. At your last meeting in March, you provided direction for enforcement action pertaining to violations of the Southwood Development Order. A public hearing on this issue has since been scheduled for April 21st. We do have additional information since the last meeting that we want to share today, and it provides a progress on what's happening, or provides progress update on what's happening. Our Growth Management Director, John Reddick, is here to provide that update, and he's joined by Deputy City Attorney Lou Norvell.
Thank you.
Reddick, good to see you.
Thank you. You as well, Mayor and Commissioners. This is a brief update. I'm going to repeat a lot of what's in our agenda item. So again, at the last city commission meeting, you provided us direction to proceed with enforcement action against the developer and property owners who are in violation with the Southwood Development Order. As you know, we now have following the guidelines of what's laid out in the development order for enforcement action. That includes issuing a notice of violation and putting those violators on notice, which we have done that, and then subsequently scheduling a public hearing before the city commission, who would be obligated to take formal action and actually begin that enforcement mechanism, or those, encumbering the properties. In this case, it'd be withholding permits on those properties. Since that time, there's been a lot of, I'll say, urgency and progress made. Both the city coordinating with Next Gen Family Group, who is the property owner where the Orange Avenue, the under-improved Orange Avenue segment is. Obviously, St. Joe Company as a property owner and master developer involved with this. So those two entities working together, us facilitating as well to try to find progress. As you have seen correspondence of, St. Joe Company has offered to essentially expedite getting those improvements done for Orange Avenue and bring that up to the standard that we expect and what's laid out in the development of regional impact. We have, the coordination then has been with Next Gen Family Group as the property owner to authorize them to do that, and they have made progress to what we would have is that right-of-way dedicated to the city so that we could then permit the work to begin. So a lot has happened in the last month to get that up to speed. It does, the enforcement guidelines within the development order state that we put them on notice, and if there is a progress made and a good faith diligent effort, we can, I'll say, defer on a public hearing if we think appropriate. So that option is presented before you as one option for this item. It doesn't necessarily eliminate it altogether. What it does is essentially suspend that, and if we find them to no longer be making the progress that we expect, then we would schedule another public hearing and put them on notice again to appear for that. So that is the update and the good progress made so far, and I'm here to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any public comment on this item?
Yes, Mayor, we have 3 speakers on this item.
Let's go.
Our first speaker is Gary Hunter, followed by John Ray. Each of our speakers will have 3 minutes for remarks. The light system in front of the mayor will be green when you begin, and at 30 seconds remaining, it will turn yellow, and I'll give you a heads up.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Thank you, Mayor, Commissioners. Gary Hunter, 119 South Monroe Street, Tallahassee, Suite 500. Here on behalf of St. Joe Corporation, let me say a few things quickly. I'll then answer any questions if you have them and address any issues beyond that to the extent I need to. First, Southwood is a tremendous project that the City of Tallahassee can take responsibility for. Largely, and my client, St. Joe Corporation, as the developer of that project, can share in that responsibility. It has been, for 25 plus years, one of the best projects literally in the state of Florida. I mean, I'm privileged enough to work throughout the state of Florida, and I can tell you few projects rival Southwood, and I mean that all over the state. The open space, and Southwood's about a 3,500 acre project. There's about 1,400 acres of open space in that project. The rest of the space is industrial, commercial, residential. It just is a thriving project that has really changed in a positive way the southeast part of Tallahassee. And so, to your credit, and I say, secondly, I regret, unfortunately, that the last commission meeting in March, things appeared to get sideways. I thought, on behalf of the city, that y'all were getting an update on the status of the construction of the roads, Orange Avenue and Biltmore. From Southwood, from St. Joe's perspective, I'll tell you this. There's a debate, and their lawyer would tell them, at least, that under the state statute dealing with declarations of emergency, that they didn't have to build that road today. Originally, the road, Orange Avenue, was scheduled to be built by December 31st of 2025. The governor issued a declaration of emergency back in this May 2024, and that granted, we're still under that declaration of emergency. That provides a stay for the period of that emergency, and then up to 2 additional years if the person who has to take action asks for that within 90 days after the declaration ends. Here's the good news. St. Joe is prepared to go build Orange Avenue, emergency or no emergency. We understand the residents of Southwood are ready for Orange Avenue to be constructed. So
You have 30 seconds.
St. Joe is, and better news, today, literally today, I heard from the landowner after repeated correspondence and communications with them, which have all been positive generally, that they're prepared to dedicate the right-of-way to the City of Tallahassee so that St. Joe can then go build the road. So we're prepared to do so. And, you know, I think hopefully that puts...
You're at 3 minutes.
That puts to an end the issue of the contention over this. We're available to answer questions.
Thank you.
And I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
Next speaker is John Ray, and then Chandra Malangi.
Your name and address for the record, please.
John Ray, 3639 Mossy Creek Lane, in the community of Southwood. 20-year volunteer of the neighborhood. I represent 500 homeowners who signed my petition urging you to enforce the development order of Southwood because St. Joe ignored deadlines. They ignored them. They didn't do what they said they were going to do. The roads aren't there. The board of directors of our homeowners association also endorsed our petition, representing 2,000 homeowners. They endorsed our petition letter for letter. We're united in this position. I want to thank the commissioners who voted last month to proceed with enforcement. The development order is a contract between the developer and the city government. It should mean something. It should be real. It should be enforceable. And you voted to execute the enforcement contained in it. The development order is not a suggestion. It's not just an idea. We must rely on these documents. I made a financial decision out in Southwood based upon that document. Lots of talk about progress to date. And I'm hopeful. I'm going to give you a piece of progress that hasn't happened in the last month. This is a picture of Orange Avenue that I took this morning. Same potholes, same unsafe conditions. This is an embarrassment. We all should be embarrassed as taxpayers. In your vote last month, you did something very important as well. You rejected St. Joe's notification of a 2-year extension based upon the 2024 tornadoes. Every time I say that, it becomes more and more absurd. A permit holder who is in significant noncompliance of the development order is not eligible for this statute. And at your last meeting, you declared them in significant noncompliance. End of story. They should really drop this issue. And the fact that they keep hammering and trotting out this horse is also an embarrassment. The pressure is working. We're here because you executed enforcement.
You're at 30 seconds remaining.
So we're not quite sure as residents what's going to happen next. The claim that there is a third-party landowner that stands in the way is very confusing to us because the responsibility lies with St. Joe. So I encourage you to proceed with enforcement. We are suspicious about this newfound progress, but we are hopeful.
You're at 3 minutes.
Thank you for your service to our community.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Chandra Malangi, and Mayor, that's the final speaker I have on the item.
Okay. Your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Chandra Malangi.
Could you pull the microphone down there so that the folks watching can pick up on the audio?
Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My name is Chandra Mulangi. I live at 4969 Hollystone Lane, Tallahassee, Florida. I am a member of a next-gen family. I'm a responsible person. I'm a responsible, resident. We are trying to make it work as much as possible. The things that came to our notice, we have been working diligently with everybody, all parties involved. We have been going through several things. In the meanwhile, we know there is enforcement, but at the same time, I think everybody has to be given a fair notice. Okay. We have been given time, and we have been working. There are several parties involved, I think, so we are trying to work in every way possible to make this work for everybody in everyone's favor. I myself also a resident of Southwood, and I don't want to see that as well. So we are working in every way possible, and whatever it has come to our notice, we are working with everybody to resolve this as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I'm here as a member of the Next Gen to answer any questions.
Excellent. Thank you. Any other speakers on this item?
No, sir.
Mr. Reddick, if I could. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you, guys.
Let me make sure I understand this correctly. St. Joe has formally said that, yes, they're going to expedite and build the road,
That's correct.
and the landowner is dedicating the right of way to build the road. So the land holding issue for completion is done.
That's correct. Beyond working out the details of that with the city, that agreement is in place to be able to move forward with that.
Luke, can I ask you a couple questions? Mr. Norvell. So legally, if we continue down this path and hold the hearing, where does that put us legally as a city in this issue? And what if St. Joe, if we go forward with punitive measures and St. Joe appeals it, where does this put us legally?
So, Mr. Mayor, if the commission moves forward with the enforcement hearing on the 21st, the question would be in front of you whether or not there is a substantial violation of the development order. The consequence, if there was, the commission would issue a resolution suspending permitting. At least St. Joe has indicated to us through their attorney that they would take an appeal or file a separate action raising the extension of time under the declaration of emergency, and also because they have said that they are willing to build the road and they've asked what else the city would require of them. Their position is that they're making a good faith effort and there's nothing else that they could do right now. But at least what St. Joe has said and what we anticipate is if there was an enforcement proceeding, we would end up in a courthouse with some kind of judicial review. Potentially that would take months and potentially slow this down. If a court recognizes the extension of time, you've got a 24-month extension of time right there. So St. Joe is proposing something quicker than that.
So the question before us today is whether to move forward and continue to have the official public hearing next week in regards to punitive issues and to decide whether we wanted to provide punitive action against St. Joe and to suspend their permits on the road that they just agreed to build.
So, Mr. Mayor, if under the development order, if this enforcement action goes forward, the suspension of permitting is for property, it's beyond just, it would encompass the property that includes the proposed roadway, but it could be other parts of Southwood.
Okay. Excellent. Thanks. Appreciate it.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, sir.
Just a quick question. I guess it would be for Lou. So if we decided that we simply wanted to move the hearing date back 2 weeks, a month, what position would that put us in, Lou?
It would be a postponement. I mean, I anticipate that it's going to take a while. I mean, I defer to growth management, but I understand that the permitting and the design work will take a while. I mean, my understanding is that growth management's been contacted by a design engineer for the roadway. But if there is a postponement, you could give the parties some additional time to see if they can make this work. But I expect, and again, I would defer to growth management, that it will take some time for permitting, some design work as well.
Okay. Could you all give us an indication, John, can you give us an indication of how long that might take?
I hate to do this to our local design professionals, but it probably depends on them quite a bit and their ability to pull something together quickly. As Lou stated, they do have a civil engineers engaged already to figure out the design of that segment. It's a relatively short segment as far as roadway design goes. So from our end, on a permitting standpoint, that's an expedited process easily to review something like that and coordinate with public infrastructure for the design details. So I'll say I'm hesitant to put a time on it. It's a matter of months, not weeks, to execute that. But it is very much dependent on the speed of a design professional to get us that product. It is not a matter of how quickly we can process and review it.
Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. My thoughts on this is we do want to take action. I'm glad that St. Joe is now saying that they're wanting to build a road. The fact that a representative from Next Gen is here today, to me, that is substantial progress, because what I've been hearing is that we weren't getting a response. So we have St. Joe in the room, we have Next Gen in the room, and we have the Southwood neighbors in the room.
Right.
So this is what I would like to see happen. I would like to see us postpone the hearing, keep it on the books, but just postpone it, that St. Joe, a representative, Next Gen, meet with the neighbors within the next 30 days, and within the next 90 days, we have an application of a permit in process to in a timeline for when this can happen. I understand you don't want to put pressure on our local folks because we don't know what all this entail, but this has gone on long enough, and at this point we're here right now because somebody didn't talk to the neighbors and didn't show progress to the neighbors, and so we're now trying to figure out how to get this daggum road built and make that community whole. But in the meantime, folks are watching this. Not just the neighbors, but others are watching this who could possibly help us finish the development in Southwood. And they're not going to touch it until we work this part out. So it is in all of our best interest to get this thing figured out expeditiously. So back to what I will make a motion that the hearing scheduled now for the 21st will be postponed 30 days. I'm just going to put a timeline on it, 30 days. And within those 30 days, St. Joe, Next Gen, and the Southwood neighbors will have a meeting. But within the 90-day period, that we see some progress on application, to either start or be a part of the permitting process to make this happen. But what is key is St. Joe and Next Gen, they have to meet with the neighbors. They cannot not talk to the neighbors. And I mean meet with, not behind a computer screen, in person, to talk to the neighbors. And just, let's work this thing out.
Before I take a second on that, let me check in with the city attorney real quick.
So I hear what you're saying, Commissioner. I don't know that it's wise to postpone it for 30 days. We'll still be in the same situation in terms of questioning compliance at that point.
So you're suggesting that it should be longer?
Or indefinite.
Yeah.
But your deadlines that you're talking about can still be part of it, but the actual hearing maybe should not be set at this point for a date certain, because you have to go through all of the things that you've talked about. And you wouldn't want to have the hearing in the middle of those, right?
Okay.
Because they're, and they're, the deadlines that you're talking about are up to 90 days, so it could be less.
Okay, I can accept that. I can accept that.
Commissioner Williams-Cox, what I'm thinking is, we move option 1 and 2 and go ahead and cancel the public hearing, okay? If we need to come back at a later time, we can always reschedule. Postpone, but cancel it because it is a formal punitive measure that was voted
It's
on.
been noticed.
I agree with you on layman's terms. We've got St. Joe here, we've got the Neighborhood Association here, we've got Next Gen here, and everybody's saying on the record, we're going to do this. We're going to expedite it. We're going to move it forward. And I know that the team is going to keep us updated through our briefings on what's going on. I agree with you, and I would encourage St. Joe to hold a meeting down in Southwood with the neighbors. Bring the design team in, let them know what you're thinking, timelines, and the whole 9 yards. I do think that communication is key, but I'm at this point ready to move forward with option 1 and option number 2.
Let me just add this, that
Sure.
I've met with Gary Hunter, the representative for St. Joe. I've met with the neighbors of Southwood, and they are totally frustrated, and I fully understand that. And they are very, as he said, suspicious, but I think a stronger word is fearful, that if this enforcement action is lifted, then it will take a long time for them to be able to get back. So I want them to have some assurances that they've been heard. St. Joe heard them, Next Gen has heard them, and we're going to work together to make sure that this gets completed, not 2 years from now, but, we're saying expedited, and we need to know what does that mean, some deadlines, some timelines, so that the neighbors will know that progress is being made. As he said, he showed me those pictures yesterday of the potholes in the road. That's not what Southwood and those cities should look like, but we know we got potholes in the city, but St. Joe and Next Gen can fix that. They can make that happen. So I just want to get the road built. I want the neighbors to be assured that we're not going to let up and that they've been heard.
I've got Commissioner Matlow, then Commissioner Porter, then the Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and great comments, Commissioner Williams-Cox. So I served a lot of time on the Code Enforcement Board, actually with Nicole Everett, who was here earlier. And when things are in violation, we always sought to get compliance, but we never waived the penalties or in the enforcement until we saw it actually come into compliance. We have an obligation as this board to issue the notice of violation, which we did, and scheduled the public hearing, which we did. That's the informal enforcement process. At any point, enforcement can stop when we come into compliance. So I think it's good news that we have the property owner here today. Just 3 weeks ago, I received an email from St. Joe saying that they wanted to build the road, but the property owner wouldn't let them. The blame was put onto the property owner. We knew the history that St. Joe owned the property, had the responsibility to build this roadway by the end of last year, sold the property, didn't secure the rights to build the road that they knew they would have to build, and we're only here today because we initiated the enforcement process. I believe if we didn't initiate the notice of violation, we wouldn't have a commitment from St. Joe to start working on this process. I'm glad they're here. I'm glad they're at the table. I look at this segment of road, and I imagine both sides, all sides, are thinking this isn't a massive project to be spending all of our time working on. We do just want to get this road built. I do think there's a great deal of distrust because of how we got here. And if we leave today without a hearing on the books, I think people will feel like there is no timeline and this could get delayed. Another reason, delay with transferring the property. Anything could come up that would kick this can down the road 2 years, 3 years, then we'd have to start a process again for enforcement. Nobody wants to see that. So I do agree with Commissioner Williams-Cox thought of, let's put these benchmarks in place to move forward. Let's delay the enforcement hearing. And to me, if we're hitting benchmarks, I don't think we need an enforcement hearing. To me, that looks like, I think within 30 to 45 days, we need to close on the property, have it be the right-of-way of the City of Tallahassee. That's the biggest hurdle I see today. If nobody owns the property, a third party owns the property, neither St. Joe or the city can move forward with it. If we hit that benchmark, then we can kick another 45 days for the other things mentioned to go into design or get input on how long the design is going to take. So I would recommend let's postpone the enforcement hearing. 30 days, as mentioned, 30 days to close on the property, have it be put into the city right away. I think we got some great attorneys and staff that can handle a real estate transaction like that in 30 days. Get that done. If it's in the right of way, automatically postpone the enforcement hearing another 60 days to get the other meetings that Commissioner Williams-Cox mentioned, get an update to the City Commission on where we are on design and timeline. I think that avoids having to go into the official enforcement hearing, puts some benchmarks, gives the neighborhood assurances that this thing is actually moving forward in a way that will work. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Is that a motion?
Yes.
Motion's on the table by Commissioner Matlow. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, seconded. Commissioner Porter?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a couple of questions for Mr. Reddick.
Reddick.
Thank you, Mr. Reddick. So, as is clear, St. Joe is responsible for building Orange Avenue, the Orange Avenue extension, and Biltmore Avenue per the Southwood Development Order. Now, did St. Joe legally assign the responsibility for these roadways to the new landowner, Next Gen Family Group, when St. Joe sold the surrounding property in 2022? No, correct?
Commissioner, I actually think that's a better question for Lou Norvell. I'm going to let him answer.
So, Commissioner, as far as this obligation to build the roadway, I mean, it is part of a master planning document. The development order is recorded. It has the words that it runs with the land. So we would take the position that it runs with the land and sticks on the dirt. As far as kind of who has the obligation to perform the construction, that is not clear. The city was not necessarily a party to the transaction between NextGen and St. Joe, but at least now we have St. Joe that's willing to pay for the road construction.
Commissioner Porter?
Okay. So, do we know if St. Joe disclosed these mandated roads and the responsibility to maintain the temporary road to the new landowner, NextGen?
So, Commissioner, the city was not a party to that transaction. We can only see the documents that are recorded in the property records. The obligation for the construction of the roadway is recorded in the property records. It runs with the land. We do not know what the disclosures were between the two private parties.
Okay. Do we know whether was St. Joe required to preserve the right-of-way easements for the roadways when they sold the property where the two roads were planned to be constructed?
So the development order that sets out at least kind of the roadway path or corridor is recorded and is in the property records. But as I understand it, there was no requirement of an easement or a reservation or a conveyance or dedication to the city previously.
Okay. So today, the agenda item states that St. Joe and NextGen have been engaging in diligent good faith efforts to come into compliance. But I'm wondering if either you, Lou, or Mr. Reddick can speak to, we can be more specific about what that looks like. I mean, I understand that their representatives are present today, but we don't, as of today, have anything in writing or formal or enforceable in terms of a memorializing those conversations, do we?
So we have correspondence from St. Joe that states that St. Joe is willing to pay for the construction of the roadway. I understand we do have a representative of NextGen that is here today. The discussions have been, if I understand it, that NextGen will convey or dedicate the dirt, which will be the path for the roadway, to the city, and then St. Joe would do the permitting, do the design work, and then fund the construction. So we have the correspondence that I think has been circulated to management and the commission, and then some of this has been in meetings. We do have, again, representatives from St. Joe and NextGen here today as well.
Okay, so has the NextGen group agreed to allow St. Joe access to the property to build the roads?
Commissioner, that's our understanding, and that's really been an issue between NextGen and St. Joe to work out, but hearing their representatives both state that that's what we're working for towards now, and meeting as soon as tomorrow to start that process.
Okay, and so today, we don't have any enforceable mechanism or any assurances. We just have, you know, they've been in communication with each other and the city. Is that correct?
That's correct. Beyond the correspondence that has been shared with the commissioners from St. Joe Company and their representatives, you're correct.
Okay. Well, I frankly will support the motion on the table, but it really would have been my preference that we move forward with the public hearing. I, like everyone here, want to see these roads built. I'm not quite convinced that St. Joe has operated in good faith. Contracts and agreements should mean something. We have followed the process. We're talking about critical infrastructure that the developer has long known they are responsible for. I'm concerned that we would postpone without an enforceable agreement. I mean, we had an enforceable agreement and we're not moving forward to enforce it. But that being said, it sounds like there's agreement with the commission about moving forward in a specific way. And so I can support that. I do have a question for our city attorney. My understanding is that when the city sent a notice of violation, there's, a time frame that we're working under with, there has to be a public hearing within a certain number of days, et cetera. So how does this factor into this? We've already sent a notice, we've scheduled a public hearing. What are the next steps given those requirements? And then secondly, my greatest concern is that as we move forward, there is accountability and enforcement to make sure that the road is built, that we're moving along, because none of us want to end up back here.
So, Commissioner, the city followed the enforcement process that's set out in the development order. There was written notice that was sent to both NextGen and St. Joe. The hearing was set. The development order does provide that if there is good faith efforts to resolve the issue, that there's the ability for the city, and here it would be to postpone or cancel this hearing if at a later date the city were to determine that there were not efforts or this resolution were not consummated, we would restart the process and issue new notices.
Okay. And what role will the city play as, I'm hearing a lot of it's between St. Joe and NextGen, and I understand why that is, but what role are we going to be playing in the next 30 days to make sure that we are on track?
So my understanding is that there are meetings that are set, I believe, for tomorrow with growth management and NextGen to set out the parameters or the boundaries of the roadway for discussion of the documents that would convey the dirt or the roadway to the city. Growth management would be the permitting department that would receive a permit application for the roadway, and I understand has had some discussion with the design engineer about the design of the roadway. So I believe those are things that could happen within the next 30 days.
Okay, thank you. And can the maker of the motion just restate the motion?
Yes, so the motion would be to postpone the enforcement hearing 30 days. And then if the property in question can get dedicated, the right-of-way can get dedicated to the city within 30 days, have an automatic postponement to 90 days to allow for the design work to be done, as well as the meeting with the neighbor. So that, I mean, if we're talking good faith efforts, those are two direct good faith things to show that it's moving forward.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm good with that.
Mayor Pro
That's
Tem?
all, Mr. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Commissioner Porter.
Oh, that's all for me. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem, and then I'm going to weigh in as well.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And that's the direction that I was headed with the questioning that I gave to Mr. Reddick and the attorney earlier. I can understand the frustration that the neighbors are experiencing, maybe some distrust because they've anticipated that this would have happened a long time ago, and they've had to tolerate the conditions of that road during this entire time, and it even sounds like they had been ignored by St. Joe. I don't know when NextGen was identified as the property owner to the residents, but this has gone on for far too long. I think that Commissioner Williams-Cox captured in her comments what my thoughts had been as well. I don't want to see us definitely not adhere to a timeline for when this would come back before us if those things that have been agreed to aren't done and completed expeditiously, if you will. And so I think that Commissioner Matlow's motion captures those elements that would certainly convince me, and I hope the commission and the neighbors, that a good faith effort is being put forward to get this done as quickly as possible. And so under those circumstances, I would support the motion that's on the table for consideration. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure thing. Okay, I'm going to weigh in, and I'm going to propose a substitute motion, and I'm not going to support the motion on the table, and I'll be very clear why.
Okay.
I think it's very important for us to keep the end goal in mind. The end goal is to build the road. That is the end goal. Southwood has done a tremendous job of putting the pressure on St. Joe. Southwood has done a tremendous job of putting the pressure on all the parties involved. But what I saw here today, on the record, at the City Commission meeting, was both the St. Joe Company and NextGen standing before us saying, we are committed to do this, on the record. Now, point number one, we have consensus for a cure. It was stated on the record. It's time to move forward. There's a meeting set tomorrow to start deliberations. My concern is, 20 years of sitting up in elected office, I have never seen the transfer of land in 30 days. We're setting ourselves up for failure. If you put a 30-day mark in it, even if everybody agrees 150%, you're not going to hit that deadline. And that we're just going to make the neighborhood that much more angry because we're not going to hit that deadline. I've got the Madam Attorney looking at me saying, these dates, these timelines don't work. The end goal is to build the road. Number one, we have consensus for a cure. Number two, the attorney has already stated that the 30-day, 90-day time frame is not going to work for us. We're not going to be able to transfer, even with 100% agreement. Mr. Raddick, am I on point? We will not hit that mark. We are setting ourselves up for failure. Now, when you look at the nature of the public hearing, let's be very clear, because this is serious. The public hearing is not a discussion of whether the road should be built or not. This is why I didn't support it, and I was on the short end of the 4-1 at the last meeting. The public hearing is about whether to apply punitive damages in violation against St. Joe or not. You talking about a food fight, when we packed these chambers with everybody from Southwood that comes in and said, you better put the punitive damages, even if we're moving forward, even if we have total agreement, we have a cure in place, we have agreement on the record, we're moving forward. If the residents show up and they want punitive damages, and this board decides not to move forward with punitive damages, we're setting ourselves up for failure again. And again, the end goal is to build the road. If we hold the hearing, and if this board does move forward with punitive damages, I guarantee you St. Joe's going to sue, or they're going to appeal to court. And what's going to happen is that this will be tied up in the courts for the next year. None of us are attorneys. None of us are experts in growth management, permitting, land transfer, and the whole 9 yards. We're getting in the weeds, I'm afraid, on something that we actually need to look at the attorney and look at growth management and follow their advice moving forward, along with the fact that we have consensus for a cure. We want to build the road. I'm concerned that by holding the hearing, again, not on whether to build the road or not, but on punitive damages, and if we move forward, we're doing the exact opposite. We will slow construction of that road for a year or two because it'll be tied up in the courts. I don't know all the legal proceedings going into the governor's emergency order in the protection or non-protection. But I do know that the attorney has told me it is a complex legal issue, and it will take time in the courts to unravel. At this point, I am ready to move forward with options number 1 and options number 2 without setting a date. I still believe in soft diplomacy as I did at the last meeting, and I was on the short end of the 4-1. We have a meeting set. We had testimony from NextGen. We had testimony from St. Joe. We've had testimony from the neighborhood that they want it done. We have consensus on a cure. I think that we need a commitment from St. Joe to hold a public meeting, to sit down and increase communications between the neighborhood and St. Joe. Let them talk about the timeline. Let them bring in their experts and show design standards. Let NextGen come in and let's repair this relationship. But even then, that's a conversation about building the road. That's not a conversation about punitive measures. So that, I think we need to take into serious consideration. For the purposes of discussion, I would like to propose a motion for option number 1 and option number 2. Is there a second to the motion? Motion dies for lack of a second. Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Let me just say this, Mayor. I'm not disagreeing with you, but what I have a problem with is today words are being said. I didn't even know about a meeting tomorrow. I learned that just now.
Yeah.
So that would have been good to know prior to this conversation, number 1. Number 2, we do have all the parties in the room, but we didn't have that last month. We didn't have that yesterday, you know, doing our briefings or what have you. That's happened today. All these things are moving slow. And all I'm trying to do is to see if there's a way to speed it up. And let's define what progress is. Is progress having 2 people in the room making having concessions, saying they're willing to work together to make it happen? Talk is cheap. You know, once we leave here, we don't know what's going to happen. Is it progress that there's a meeting tomorrow that we just learned about that's going to make this happen? I got you. I am just trying to do what I would want done for me in my neighborhood. That's the position I'm putting myself in. And let's not lose sight of the fact that I said that St. Joe, NextGen, need to go meet with the neighbors. Had that already been done, we wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
If they were already meeting and talking, we wouldn't even be here. They would have worked that out on their own. But since it's here, I think we have an obligation and responsibility to make sure it doesn't come back here again. And I think the way to do that is, you know, if you give a person a year to do something, it's going to take a year. If you give them 30 days to do something, it's going to take 30 days. I am willing to even go a little bit further. I hear what Amy's saying. I get it. But what we've got to do is we got to monitor this thing. We can't just let it continue to roll out of control. So that's where I am. I'm trying to put some I'm trying to put some things in place so that even if you're close and you can't make it in 30 days, then you can appeal and ask for an additional 30 days.
Continuance.
Something along those lines. I agree with you. I don't want to do the hearing because the hearing is about being punitive. We're not trying to be punitive. We're trying to be productive.
Right.
We're trying to get the road, get that, what I call that daggum road built. I want Orange Avenue finished. From Capitol Circle Southwest all the way out to Southwood Plantation Road.
Right.
So whatever it takes to make that happen, I'm appreciative of what has been said here today. But if it ain't in writing, if it's not you talking to people face to face, not behind a keyboard, it may not happen.
I agree with you, and I see the writing on the wall with the majority of the commission wanting to go in this direction. Might I suggest you consider as well, instead of a 30-day, moving it out to 60 days or 120 days? We got to have at least enough time, even in an expedited fashion, for the process to be able to work, or else we are setting ourselves up for failure.
I agree. I agree. And being the second on the motion, I can give 60 days.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor, may I guess, Commissioner, I just really need to understand what the motion is. So, because if we postpone a hearing, for example, and then we sort of put these deadlines in place, those deadlines will have to be very specific so we know what triggers the deadlines. There's been talk about, there's been talk about a neighborhood meeting, there's been talk about closing, and then there were some other things. So that is why I'm struggling with this type of motion, because I don't know that we're able to really comply with it.
Commissioner
or
Matlow
how you,
make-
right.
Commissioner Matlow
Yes.
was-
Yeah, Commissioner Matlow made the motion, but I started it by saying, meeting with the neighbors within 30 days. Okay, that's where it started. I still think that can happen. They calling me tomorrow.
Yes, I agree. I guess what I'm saying is I don't know what all of those deadlines, those benchmarks, I think Commissioner Matlow called them benchmarks. I'm not sure what they are. And we would have to, I think we really need to clarify that. And then, and I do not think that we can close in 30 days. That's just, I just don't think
And
that's
that's
feasible.
fine. That's fine. 30 days, we can't close in 30 days, but we can meet with the neighbors in 30 days.
Yes, of course.
Commissioner
When I say we, I'm not talking about the city
Of
commission.
course.
Okay. I'll accommodate the change to 60 days. So what we're looking for is within 60 days to close on the property. If we don't close within 60 days, I assume we would have to then schedule the enforcement hearing and give a 2-week window. Is that correct? Would that be the process? Or can we schedule the hearing today?
If you could let Mr.
Okay.
Norvell respond. I don't have the development order in front of me.
We'd renotice, Commissioner, so there's has to be a notice within 30 days of the hearing, and there has to be at least 15 days for them to try to comply. So we would renotice it if your benchmark was not met.
So in the event we don't close within 60 days, you would be directed to issue notice to start the 15-day window for an enforcement hearing. In the event we do close, then the next benchmark we would be looking for is design and permitting. I speculated 90 days. I'm flexible on what that timeline may look like, John.
Uh-oh,
What?
it's an emergency.
I'm going to recess.
I think somebody collapsed.
I think somebody's
Let's recess for 5 minutes. Back to order. I'm glad that all parties involved seem to be okay.
Or will be.
And let's, or will be, yeah. Commissioner Matlow, let's give it just a second. Everybody get their seats, and I'll give it back to you. Okay, Commissioner Matlow, you have the floor.
I want to add something.
Okay. So where were we? So I had some discussions. I think this is what would be best and easiest on the benchmark conversation. 60 days to acquire the property, the right of way. If not acquired in 60 days, issue a notice of violation on day 60. for 15 days out. If the property is acquired, just bring us an update at the next regularly scheduled city commission meeting. Cancel, 60 days it's acquired, we'll just bring it to the next city commission meeting for discussion to check on the progress on design. So we don't need to have an automatic design schedule. Does that make sense? Is that less confusing or more confusing?
Yeah, I'm sorry to be confused. It's
Sure.
just an unusual kind of way to process public hearings. And I just want to sort of think through how it might actually work. So is there any way we could say, we could use 90 days as sort of a combination of things, meet with the neighbors, acquire the property, maybe not close on it, that's more questionable than an agreement to actually, between the parties, to actually acquire the property, and then, whatever part of the design. And then, we could either bring it back for an update at that point and allow the commission to make a determination about what's going to happen, or if all of those things have happened, then we just keep moving. I just trying to set it up so that each time that we have this benchmark, and then if they meet if the benchmark is met, then we go to the next benchmark. If it's not, we notice a public hearing.
Okay, and thank you. I'm only adding, there's only one benchmark, and that's acquiring the property. The only thing that is slowing the building design, which we've heard from both the developer, St. Joe, and the city, is ownership of the property. If that holds true, once the property is transferred, there's good faith efforts to move along.
Understood.
We've heard from the property owner today that they're willing to give the right of way or sell the right of way, however that is negotiated, to the city. If that's true, what we're being told here is true, then this should be able to be done in 30 to 60 days. We're not debating, holdouts for whatever the other debates are. If everybody's in good faith, wants to get this property to the city, we should be able to get it in 60 days. So that's the only benchmark that really matters to me, because then all the other parties can move forward with building it. So within 60 days, acquire the property. And if it's not acquired within 60 days, issue the notice of violation, and we go through that process. Because at the end of the day, it's not the city's fault or problem that this property isn't owned by somebody who could build on it. That wasn't our responsibility in the development order. So that would trigger 60 days, own the property, it would trigger the notice of violation issuance. If it's the city takes ownership of the property within 60 days, just schedule an item at the next city commission meeting to give us an update on the progress.
If I could, as a second on your motion, if I could just tweak it just a little bit. Acquiring to be defined as agreement to execute. Because if you ever bought a house, closing takes a long time, and it's a long process. So if there is agreement to execute the right-of-way for the property, I can agree with that. Would you be willing to accept that?
A written contract to execute a contract from the property owner, is that, but not the actual, maybe not the transfer, but a written agreement.
A written agreement agreeing to execute, knowing that it takes a long time for closings to occur. So with the agreement to execute, I think that shows, that is progress, and that shows that we're moving in the right direction. And I agree with you, cancel the hearing and get an update at the next commission meeting, with updates at the commission meetings beyond that time period.
Okay, that's accepted.
Thank
Nope.
That's accepted.
All right, so we're all clear. Will you restate your motion, please?
Okay. The motion is, within 60 days, have the definitive agreement to execute the land acquisition by the city.
Right.
If not, within 60 days, proceed with the notice of violation on a 15-day window, and then bring us a check-in at the next regularly scheduled city commission meeting.
Second.
Commissioner, let me just clarify. So if the 60-day benchmark is not met, we bring back a notice, or we issue a notice of violation, set a public hearing. If it is met, we just bring back an update to the city commission.
That's
That
correct.
it's been met. At whatever point, we can do that.
That's correct.
Okay.
I am not going to support the motion on the table for the reasons that I previously stated. I think we're setting ourselves up for failure. If something happens between now and 60 days and it doesn't come through, as soon as we issue the notice of violation and have the hearing, the road construction will come to a halt for who knows how long, as it will be tied up in courts. All those in favor of the motion on the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, aye. It passes 4-1 with the mayor in dissent. Okay, we're on item number 12.02. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Let me ask Planning Director, no, I'm sorry, we're on 1202, I apologize. Deputy City Manager Jumonville will introduce this item.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Mayor, Commissioners, this item requests your approval for the renaming of Central Street from Old Bainbridge Road to West 4th Avenue to Reverend Ernest Farrell Street in recognition of Reverend Dr. Ernest Farrell. In 1972, the Board of Directors appointed Reverend Dr. Ernest Farrell as President and Chief Executive Officer of the Tallahassee Urban League, a position he held with distinction for 48 years. He was also ordained in 1969 and called to pastor St. Mary Primitive Baptist Church in October 1992. His contributions have earned him numerous honors, including FAMU Martin Luther King Leadership Award, the City of Tallahassee Business Leadership Award, the Omega Sci-Fi Citizen of the Year Award, and the Leon County Achievement and Recognition Award, as well as honorary doctorate in human letters from Florida A&M University. In 2006, the Florida House of Representatives passed a formal resolution recognizing his service. If approved, Central Street from Old Bainbridge Road to West 4th Avenue will be renamed to Reverend Ernest Farrell, effective June 1st, 2026. This item also requests your approval for the honorary designation of Jim Lee Road from East Magnolia Drive to where it dead ends south of Saddle Creek Run to Maggie Lewis Butler Honorary Roadway in recognition of Margaret Maggie Lewis Butler. Maggie Lewis Butler is a longtime educator, community leader, and public servant. In 1966, she began her career with Leon County Schools, where she served as an educator for 30 years and was a valued mentor, educator, and resource to both her colleagues and the many students whose lives she influenced. She was then elected to the Leon County School Board in 1996, where she served for 22 years, advocating and expanding opportunities for students and families, particularly on the south side of Tallahassee. If approved, permanent signage will be installed along Jim Lee Road, dedicating the roadway as Maggie Lewis Butler Honorary Roadway, effective June 1st, 2026. Finally, included in this item is also an update regarding a citizen-initiated renaming request proposing the renaming of a portion of West Carolina Street to Reverend Jesse Jackson Street in honor of the late Reverend Jesse Jackson, which will come back at a future meeting for your consideration. Our Growth Management Director, John Reddick, is here if you have any questions about these items.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
Mayor, we have one speaker on the item, Stanley Sims.
Mr. Mayor, before he comes, if I could make a correction.
Of course.
That was sent to me in regards to Reverend Farrell. Reverend Farrell was ordained in 1965 and was called to pastor Galilee Primitive Baptist Church in 1969. In 1992, he was called to pastor the St. Mary Primitive Baptist Church, where he currently serves. So I just wanted to put that correction in the record. Thank you.
Excellent.
Oh, one other. I'm sorry, the official street name should be Reverend Dr. Ernest Farrell.
Got it.
Okay.
Speakers.
Stanley Sims.
Name and address for the record, please.
Stanley Sims at 1320 Avondale Way. I support this in so many ways. Ms. Maggie Lewis' husband is my senior class, homeroom senior class. Not only has the Reverend Dr. Farrell have done all of those other accomplishments, he has been Florida State Convention president and the national president of the Primitive Baptist, the National Primitive Baptist and the State Primitive Baptist. But I think will always be his mark is these words: we're making a difference. That was his mark. I remember that when I was young, Miss washing dishes in the kitchen, listening to the radio. You stop what you're doing and join those 3 words: making a difference. I want to say thank you, Reverend. Thank you, Ms. Butler. Also, thank you to the City of Tallahassee. And I'm very pleased that we are starting to do this. And I just have one little small request. Very thankful, Ms. Jernigan, about Jesse Jackson coming. But I love to hear for the President of Barack Obama. Thank you. Pray my strength.
Our next speaker, please.
That was the only speaker on the item.
All right, Commissioner Diane Williams-Cox is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I would like to move this agenda item.
Second.
It has been properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox. I will entertain a unanimous second without objection. Unanimously seconded for comment, Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you to these community servants who have had an impact on many of our lives, and we really do appreciate it. And they're here with us today. They're here in the audience, and Reverend Farrell did not correct Stanley when he used the wrong tune, because that's not how he said it. I saw him just rub his head, but that's not how he does it. And I want to ask him to come forward and do it for us, Reverend Farrell, so it's correct in the record. You want to come forward and do our making a difference, like you did it, like it's supposed to be done.
Okay, you ready?
I'm ready.
We're making a difference. Yes.
See, thank you. Thank you. And to one of my mentors, Mrs. Maggie Lewis Butler, she's always encouraged me to be the best that I could be. She was not my teacher in the classroom, but she was my teacher in the community. And the service that you see I do is modeled after what she did. And I really want to say to her, thank you. And we really appreciate you and all the numbers of children that you have taught and you continue to teach. So thank you. And it's going to be I'm going to be very proud to drive out on Maggie Lewis Butler. Mm-hmm. Is it Wayne? Maggie Lewis Butler. What do we call him? Somebody help me.
I don't have it in front of me.
Maggie Lewis Butler Honorary Roadway.
Honorary Roadway. I'm gonna be very pleased to drive on that often because Jim Lee is a connector. So, and if she wants to come forward and say something, absolutely.
Thank you. It's indeed an honor to be here, and I'm so thankful and honored to be recognized on the South Side. It's because of the mayor, Commissioner Richardson, and definitely Commissioner Williams-Cox. Also, Commissioner Maddox. All of you have been great leaders in the community, and I really enjoyed your meeting tonight. Maggie B. Lewis Butler. B as in boy.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Sure, Mayor Pro Tem.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I too want to thank both Reverend Farrell and Ms. Lewis for the service that they have provided to this community for decades, not years, but decades, in helping Tallahassee be the all-America city that she has been 3 times designated now. We appreciate that. Maggie and I are, I guess you could say we're neighbors. We both live on the south side. Maggie succeeded me on the Leon County School Board, and her son-in-law was one of my college roommates. Ransom Gadsden from Jacksonville, Florida. Reverend Farrell, I had an opportunity to serve as a board member at the Urban League under his leadership, and we got a lot of things accomplished. Reverend Farrell, you set the bar high. Kurt has come behind you, and he's doing a good job, but he's still got to reach that bar that you set in making this community be a better place, and all the services that the Urban League provided for our residents to make their lives better. And so again, I want to thank you all, and I certainly support these designations, as well as hopefully the one that will come before us recognizing Reverend Jesse Jackson.
Commissioner Matlow, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, congratulations, and thanks for being here. Thanks to Commissioner Williams-Cox for bringing these forward. You know, I've learned so much history. I see our town historian, Mr. Hollinger, with us today. But I've learned so much Tallahassee history serving as commissioner. And I think road dedications and park dedications, it's really cool to see folks who have really made a local impact have their names remembered. So we can speak to the next generation, and then they can learn who came before them and what they did for our city. So I think this was a great initiative. Well-deserved. Thank you for your service to the community, and I look forward to supporting it.
Commissioner Porter, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I couldn't agree more with what everyone has said. Well-deserved recognition. I'm looking forward to supporting it, and thank you for your service.
Dr. Reverend Farrell, 20 years you have been a friend, a mentor, a spiritual advisor, not only to me and my family, but to many, many other politicians that have come and gone and served in this community. Your fingerprints are all over this community, dating way back when, before I even started serving, and you have truly changed this community for the best. And I appreciate it, and it is an honor to be here to vote in favor of this. Maggie Lewis Butler, you have known me since I was a little kid. You served with my father on the school board. And I will just simply say that I think Scott Daly is smiling down from heaven right now and is with us as we celebrate you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, all those in favor of the motion on the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed. And it passes unanimously, 5-0.
And Mr. Mayor, if I can say one more thing. This request for Reverend Farrell came from one of his stellar members, who is also a member of the City of Tallahassee family. He's standing in the back there, just waiting for it to happen. Mr. Spencer Bowen.
Right,
so just let you know that he's the one who whispered in my ear.
Excellent. Wonderful. We are on item number 12.03. Mr. Manager.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let me ask Director Mike Alfano to come forward. This item, you'll recall, you asked for an update on the scooter program some time ago, and your agenda item has a great deal of information about the history dating back to 2019, the number of rides, the general history. And you'll recall the impetus for this update were some concerning issues that Dr. Jackson raised. There's also a summary of that. Dr. Jackson's here to provide his testimony tonight as well. And so let me turn it over to Mr. Alfano. Just any additional information we think is relevant, and then we're asking for your direction and to accept the status report.
Yeah, Mr. Manager, you've done a great job recapping things. The only thing I'll add is that when you all directed us to establish this formal program in 2020 and create an ordinance around that, that allows us to place parameters around scooter vendors, where they can ride, how many scooters they can deploy, things of that nature. So that really is the thing that gives us teeth in this. And, you know, to the city manager's point, the agenda item details all the information and the information in regards to the issue between Dr. Jackson and Spin, and happy to answer any questions that you all may have.
Excellent. All right, let's get to public comment. Dr. Jackson, we'll start off with you. Do we have any other speakers besides Dr. Jackson?
Following Dr. Jackson, we'll have Bruno Lopez, and those are the only two.
All right, excellent. Dr. Jackson, good to see you. Your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes, and Mr. Cook will politely interrupt you at 30 seconds.
Irwin-Jackson, 1341 Jackson Bluff. What I've just passed out is a handout, talk about scooters, littering on the sidewalks, injuring pedestrians. Got some information also regarding the police department. They've had in 24-25, they've had 145 calls regarding the scooters. 8 of those had to do with traffic collisions. So it's a problem. When this started, everyone said, this is going to be great. Well, that's great, and I understand, but then right off the bat, first thing the city did was to say, we don't want them scooters in Cascade Park. We don't want them in the Capitol Complex, uptown. We don't want them on FAMU's campus. We don't want them at Tallahassee State College. We don't want them at FSU, the Seminole Golf Course, Lake Ella. Well, there's lots of folks, and I'll tell you, I don't want them on my property either. The city says it's a great idea, but then they exempt themselves. They don't have to deal with these scooters. If you go ahead and a little bit of history, I've spent 5 years. I spoke out against this in April of 2020. It's continuing to be a problem for 5 years. I repeatedly asked assistance from the city, from the police, from the customer relations at the home office of SPIN. No one wants to do anything. So I came up with my own solution. My solution, based on what my attorney says, what my insurance company says, when scooters are left on my property, I have a legal right to take those and remove them. Because if someone runs over the scooter, I get sued. If someone trips over the scooter, I get sued. I've had it with scooters. Now, I spent 6 months working with the scooter company. No one did anything. I'm still collecting scooters. From June 24 to 21 until today, I've collected a total of 49 scooters. I pay people to pick them up. We store them. I pay to store them. I pay the liability insurance. If you look, in the past 4.5, 5 years, I've stored 49 scooters for a total of 56,899 days.
You're at 25 seconds.
Your agreement that was signed by the city and the scooter company states that, in fact, for each day a scooter is on private property, the scooter company must pay $200 per day. Now, unfortunately, that part of the agreement has not been enforced by the city. The city needs to enforce that agreement. If not, it's going to be left up to me. Currently, the amount that's owed to the city for 56,000 days is $11,379,000.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Our next speaker.
Next speaker is Bruno Lopez.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Bruno Lopez, 120 Northeast 4th Street, 33301. Good afternoon, Mr. Mayor, Commissioners. Appreciate the opportunity to be here before you to talk about the current program. I am an employee of SPIN. I manage the government partnerships for the East Coast. Since the inception of the program, we have been able to deliver over 600,000 rides to residents and visitors alike. That includes over 50,000 unique riders. And provided over $650,000 in fees to the City of Tallahassee since we've been in operation in 2019. That does not include the over $1 million that we've made in investments in salaries, warehouses, local jobs, operations, technology, infrastructure, and other things that we've invested into the community. That does include over 25 local jobs that the scooter program is able to provide here in the City of Tallahassee. We've been a part of the program since the inception in 2019, which started out with 5 vendors. A year later, the city moved over to a permanent program that included 2 vendors. 1 exited the market. We've been operating since the inception in good faith, trying to be good stewards of the community. Of course, we understand that the consideration that the city's consideration is not only how many rides, but also safety. As it was addressed earlier, that is always top of mind in everything we do. In those over 600,000 rides that we have provided, we understand that the police reports show 145 incidents. We believe that includes private ownership and the other vendors. In the 600,000 rides that we have provided, we only have 8 reported incidents, which equals a incident to ride ratio of 0.0001333, making it much safer mode of transportation than most of the things we have on the road. And of course, we stand by that record. I think it's a testament to the regulations that the city has put forth, being very mindful about where they're allowed to operate, where they're not allowed to operate, speed limits and all those things. So we continue to ask for your support of the program. We think by most metrics in the industry, it is pretty clear that the city has taken well to it and it's been a successful program. That's not to say that we haven't heard legitimate concerns from the community, and we always try to keep those top of mind and be proactive in addressing them. That does include, we were proactively creating geofences, essentially no ride, no park zones around the properties of Dr. Jackson. We did ask him for a list of all the properties he owns so we can make sure to include all of them in the list of geofences. We haven't gotten that yet, but of course we stand by that if he can provide it to us. What we did is we created the geofences around the properties that we were able to identify through
15
online.
seconds.
Again, we're here to work with the community. We keep safety top of mind in everything we do. I'm here to answer any more questions if you have. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please.
I have no other speakers, Mayor.
All right. Mike, what kind of action are you looking for tonight, or is this just an update?
We're just looking for you all to accept the status report.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion for the status report in a second. Dr. Jackson, I hear you loud and clear. You're the largest student housing provider in Tallahassee, I believe, to date. And I appreciate SPIN moving forward with the geofencing. The legal issues and the past fines, I need to get up to speed on that. I don't know where we are with that. However, moving forward, if we can work with you on the geofencing, that'd be great, so that it's not an issue for Dr. Jackson. Mike, if we as a city can work with SPIN on some public facilities for where to park a scooter that's in the vicinity so that they're not left all over the sidewalks in front of Dr. Jackson's property. I think you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll work with SPIN.
Yeah, let's see if we can get creative with some, parking facilities on our property around his student housing while it's geofenced. I think we can come up with a solution. With what he brought up earlier, Dr. Jackson, with the fines and everything, I don't have a comment on that. I don't know what to say. Madam Attorney?
I believe that's a legal issue between Dr. Jackson and SPIN.
All right. Is there a motion to update?
So move.
Accept the update. Properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Further comment? Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I don't know if this is a question for Mike or Mr. Manager. So what's the process? I saw the reports of TPD interactions. Do we have a report on interactions from neighbors, property owners that have complained about them being on their property? What's the enforcement mechanism that the city's going through when they are left for long periods of time?
Yes, so when we receive a call or an alert from either a citizen or a citizen calling customer service alerting us about a scooter either on their property or improperly parked, we immediately reach out to the scooter vendor and let them know, hey, you have to go collect this scooter. They have 1 hour in which to do that, and if they don't, we have the option to either go collect it ourselves and charge a fine for holding that scooter, or we can fine them for failure to follow the procedure. We have not had to do that.
Okay. And how often do we get those calls, and how does the public know who to contact?
So there's information in the app and with the scooter, I believe, that tells you who you can call. We have a website where we have the number where folks can reach out to our micromobility coordinator. They can call city customer service and report that. We have not received, the volume of calls has decreased significantly since the pilot program. You remember it was kind of like the Wild West, and we were constantly going out and riding scooters around. So we track those issues.
Okay. And so do we have dedicated staff? What's the staffing cost to the city to deal with the scooter enforcement?
Yeah, so we have a single staff person that's dedicated to this primarily. There are, staff amongst the city that they coordinate with to, communicate when there's issues with TPD or things like that. There's frequent communication between staff and SPIN to avoid issues from arising. Staff's incredibly proactive and, regularly patrolling, high deployment areas to review both rebalancing and just kind of after, a busy weekend, checking to make sure scooters have been rebalanced.
Okay. And so the item said that we've generated 60,883 in 2025. Do you know the staffing cost for all things scooters to the city?
Not an exact cost. I would say it's probably about in that ballpark.
And do we have an explanation? So I'm listening to Dr. Jackson's concerns, and then I'm hearing you say they can be removed in an hour. I'm hearing him say nobody's ever been fined. Has there been conversation? What's the disconnect between property owners getting enforcement quickly and then what we're hearing from?
Yeah, so I won't speak for Dr. Jackson. What I will say is that I believe that before he began collecting and storing scooters, that the vendors would collect the scooters from his property on a daily basis when they would be going to rebalance them. Since the geofences have been in place, they're not able to end their rides on his property. They literally cannot end a ride on his property. So if they have wind up on his property since the geofences have been put in place, it's because they've ended a ride outside his property and then the user has brought it there. I know for a fact that staff communicates regularly with SPIN to monitor scooters, not only if they wind up on his property, but even if they're in close proximity to the property, asking SPIN to go ahead and rebalance that, proactively just to avoid any sort of issues.
And have you had contact from any other constituents who have had them left on their property where they're not being rebalanced or they're not being picked up in a timely manner?
Not to my knowledge, nothing along these lines where there's a continued frustration.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Is it Commissioner Williams-Cox?
Hold
on just a second, Dr. Jackson. Hold on, Dr. Jackson, please. Hold on, Dr. Jackson, please. Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you. My question is, how responsive has SPIN been when you all call them?
Very responsive.
Okay. And it's my understanding also that the original SPIN went out of business and someone else has acquired it. And as a part of the acquisition, the new SPIN is not responsible for the old SPIN's obligations.
So I can't speak on behalf of their legal duties or obligations. That is their perspective on this matter. They were acquired by another company a couple of years ago and went through the appropriate procedures to file new forms with the city. And they're continuing to do business here as SPIN. But I can't speak to their legal obligations or duties or lack thereof.
Do you know whether that has been said to Dr. Jackson or not?
I believe that they have communicated that to him.
Thank you.
There is a motion on the table for option one with a second. Any further comment? Commissioner Matlow.
Mr. Mayor, if given the opportunity, I would have just one question for Dr. Jackson on his communications with the city.
Say one more time.
I just have one question for Dr. Jackson on his conversations with the city.
Sure.
Dr. Jackson, my question to him, I'm trying to understand the enforcement procedure. Have you been making reports? Have they not been being collected? What is the...
I've spent 5 years talking with the city. So I don't want to hear this. I'll call you in an hour, it'll be gone. Okay? When we started, I said it was a bad idea. I started for 6 months when the scooters would show up. They drive the scooters. FSU doesn't want them. They get as close as they can to FSU, and that's where they die. Well, that's where I own property close to FSU. So they're scattered all over my properties. There is an agreement signed by the city which says if a scooter is left on a piece of private property, it has to be approved by the owner of the property. If not, there's a $200 fine. In the last 5 or 6 years, the city has refused to fine the company. Therefore, if the city's not going to make sure the agreement is met, then I have to do something. I have a legal responsibility to pick these scooters up and store them. Now, I thought after doing 1 or 2, they'd say, okay, we'll take care of it. Well, they said, no, keep the damn scooter. It's cheaper for us to let you keep them than come out here and pick them up. So now I've been keeping them. I've talked with Steve Bertman, and I've talked to him several occasions. Last time I talked with him, I said, you're coming up for a renewal here. Can you address these issues? And his good advice was, well, Mr. Jackson, you're a big boy. I suspect you can handle this question. I said, okay, thanks, Steve. He was ahead of the program, I thought. So now, either we're going to enforce the agreement that you folks have, and if you decide not to enforce the agreement, my attorneys tell me that my damages wouldn't have occurred if this ordinance or this agreement would actually be implemented and force compliance. Now it hasn't, so it's cost me damages.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Jackson. I got it. Thank you.
You got it. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome.
I'm not planning on waiting another couple of years. I've had it.
Understood. Mr. Alfano, well, just a follow-up question. When were the geofences put in on the properties for them not to be part of?
I believe in 2024, they were put in place on his properties.
Okay. And have scooters been left on his property since then? And are we missing the fining obligation in the contract? And that might be.
So I will say that when I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No, that's fine. I was saying that might be an attorney question. So
Yeah. What I will say is that I believe that the numbers of interactions that he's had with scooters has diminished significantly since the geofences have been put in place. It's impossible for the vendor to comply with, hey, you have to go pick up this scooter when the scooter is being collected and withheld from the vendor taking the scooter and rebalancing it is the only other thing I'll say. But in terms of the legal question, I'll defer to the city attorney.
Okay. And do you know the fining structure if they're not collected? Is there a time frame on that?
Mike might know, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So the fining structure is for when they fail to comply, we can fine them $100 and then $200 for every subsequent day. I believe it's in their materials. If the city were to collect a scooter because of failure to respond to an issue with the scooter blocking a sidewalk or something like that, we can also charge $75 per day for holding that scooter.
And failure to comply is not retrieve it within an hour of being notified? Is it that standard?
Yeah, it's failure to comply with city code or the terms of the operating agreement. So any parameter of the operating agreement, we can fine them $100 or $200 thereafter.
Okay, thank you.
Let me bring this in for Orlando. Madam Attorney, will you please take a look at this and see if there's been any infractions that take city action, and if so, bring it back to us in regards to Dr. Jackson's issues that he's brought up?
I have looked at it some. I think Mr. Alfano, his statement addresses the legal issue, which is if the city didn't know that there were scooters to be picked up, they couldn't advise that they be picked up and then enforce the contract terms if they were not. So in Mr. Jackson's case, or Dr. Jackson's case, my understanding is that he didn't notify the city or SPIN that there were scooters on his property. That's what I've been told. He just collected them and stored them. So,
I'm asking, as a favor to the commission, if you'll
yes,
just take
of course,
take one more look
Mr.
at
Mayor.
it.
Yes,
And if there's any action that needs to be taken, please bring it back before us.
I will, of
Okay.
course.
In the meantime, let me say for the record, Dr. Jackson, I am a big fan of micromobility. I am a fan of the scooters. I do think overall it's been successful in the college town. But I am very well aware of the issues that you've been dealing with, and we want to help. With that, there's a motion on the table to accept the agenda item. Is there any further comment? Mr. Matlow.
Just in closing, if you continue to have ongoing issues, call them in, and if the city would make sure we get a log of every time they're called in and when they're recovered, so we can see if there's ongoing issues or not, that would be very helpful. Would have been helpful on this item to know how many call-ins we've had specifically on abandoned scooters on properties, but thank you, Mr. Mayor.
All those in favor of the motion on the table signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. Folks, we're going to take up 12.05. 12.05 before recess. We'll talk roosters after the public hearing. 12.05. Mr. Manager.
Thank you, sir. This item requests your approval of an MOU between the PBA in the city related to disability retirement benefits for police officers, staff. My staff has worked with the Treasurer Clerk's office to develop this agreement that addresses a gap in our current contract by allowing officers who are injured in the line of duty after reaching normal retirement eligibility the ability to apply for disability retirement. And so it's a nuanced distinction that this cures. It also updates how benefits are calculated and removes certain limitations on outside earnings while maintaining restrictions on returning to sworn service. We're seeking your approval of this item.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
I'm going to make the motion for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Any other comment? I will simply say, Sergeant, we love you. Thank you for your service to this body in this chamber. And thank you for your service to Tallahassee. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. And we are in recess until the public hearing at 6 o'clock. Gentlemen, I'd like to call this public hearing to order at 6:04 on April 15th. We have two items before us. 1601, please, Madam Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 16.01 is the first and only public hearing on ordinance number 26-Z-06, an ordinance of the City of Tallahassee, Florida, designating land as medium-density residential zoning district MR1 on the official zoning map from single-family detached, attached, and two-family residential zoning district R3 on 2.8 acres located at 3667 and 3713 Mahan Drive, providing for conflicts and severability and providing an effective date. The recommended action is option 1, conduct the first and only public hearing and adopt ordinance number 26-Z-06. Any ex parte disclosures concerning this item are available via the hyperlink included in the agenda item as published in the board doc system.
All right, do we have any public comment on this item?
Gary Hunter is here if there are questions. Otherwise, no speakers.
All right. Colleagues?
Move staff recommendation.
Second.
Been properly moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. 16.02, Madam Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Item number 16.02 is to hold the first of two public hearings on the development of the fiscal year 2026-2027 annual action plan and schedule the second and final public hearing for June 10, 2026. The recommended action is option 1, conduct the first public hearing during the development of the fiscal year 26-27 annual action plan and schedule the second and final public hearing for June 10, 2026. Dr. Kimball Thomas, Director of Housing and Community Resilience, will present this item and is available to address questions.
Excellent. Do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
All right, colleagues?
Move option 1.
Second.
Been probably moved by Commissioner Williams-Cox, seconded by the Mayor Pro Tem. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. Do we have anything else come before us at the public hearing?
No.
We are back on general business, policy formation direction 12.04. Madam Attorney.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. At the Commission's last meeting, I was asked to bring back information about the cities and counties' ordinances regarding roosters within city limits or within the city and the county. So as the agenda item lays out, Tallahassee's ordinance allows one rooster on residential property. Leon County prohibits roosters in home gardens or yards. They do allow them in community gardens and urban farms. The Animal Ordinance, Chapter 4, has its own nuisance process, which provides for citation and abatement when there is excessive noise. I think it's more often barking, but rooster crowing would be an issue as well. My understanding is that over the last year, back from today or around this week, there have been 10 calls related to roosters from 5 homes. All of those have been resolved through education, conversation with the owners, with no further calls and no citations. I'm available for any other questions that any commissioners might have.
All right, do we have any public comment on this item?
No, sir.
Let's talk roosters. Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And thank you for the item. I think it's informative to the nature. So this was raised by a constituent who was having an ongoing issue with a neighboring property rooster. I'm not sure, I haven't heard back from them if they went through the formal process. So in your analysis, it lays out, I guess, a very formal process if you're having a complaint, whether it's dogs or roosters in a neighboring property. It includes getting an additional property owner to be part of the complaint and thus forth. So who's the point of contact folks should, they're having an ongoing issue that still hasn't been resolved? Is it Tallahassee Police Department, Animal Services? Who should they be calling directly?
Animal Services. And my understanding, Commissioner, is that the majority of the complaints don't even make it to the more formal process, that staff works with the owners, education, those kinds of things, and that it's resolved at that level.
Okay. And so if they call Animal Services the first time and they're not happy with the resolution, is there a follow-up process?
I would assume so. Is there anybody here from Animal? Is Ashley here? Can I ask Ashley Edwards she would have more information about that.
Ashley, come talk roosters.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Yes, Commissioner. The first call results in contact being made by our animal control officers, and again, with education and compliance being the goal. If there is a second complaint, then what we do is we talk with the complainant and talk to them about that process, the more formal process. We do require either a second person to also confirm that complaint or for one of our animal control officers to witness the nuisance behavior themselves. So we've not ever in the last year had to go that far, though. But yes, there would be a follow-up process, and if they call in a second time, we would follow them on through that more formal process.
Okay. Thank you. And I think that process is informative. I think if folks are having ongoing issues, to just follow up if they're not being able to find relief. Noise complaints we get pretty regularly through our office. A lot of them are cut and dry and easy to resolve through TPD. I recognize this one's a bit novel in nature concerning the roosters. I certainly haven't experienced it, but I did say I had a neighbor with a peacock in my 20s that drove me crazy. I didn't know there was a process then. I kind of wish I did. But I do think what is laid out most likely should be able to address the issue. If you have an ongoing noise concern from a neighboring property that's animal related, contact the Animal Services Center. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, we want to make sure we do a thorough job so we don't get egg on our face during the process. Come on, it's 6 o'clock, folks. Nobody likes my joke.
Hey,
Is there a motion to accept the informational report?
don't quit your day job.
Is there a motion to accept the informational report?
Move.
Properly moved by Commissioner Matlow. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Williams-Cox. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously 5-0. Do we have any other business coming before us?
No, sir.
All right, we're on 30 minutes of unagended speakers.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mr. Clerk.
We've got 10 speakers, so if they each take 3 minutes, that'll be your 30.
There we go.
First speaker is Kashif Shabazz, and then Sadie Carlson. So each speaker, as I said, will have 3 minutes. The light in front of the mayor will be green, and at 30 seconds remaining, it will turn yellow, and I'll give you a heads up.
Our first speaker?
Shabazz, Jeffrey Shields. Sadie Carlson's next. So Sadie Carlson.
Your name and address for the record, please.
All right. I'm Sadie Carlson. I've been a Tallahassee resident for the past 8 years. So I've been here a couple times before. But recently I was arrested at the No Kings protest for safety marshaling. I was doing everything I could to make sure that people that were protesting, people that were marching were able to be safe. But I know Jeremy Matlow actually said to free me the night that I was arrested, so I do appreciate that. But I don't want to make my public comment all about me. I want to make it about the 287G agreement with TPD, and really any sort of collaboration with ICE broadly. A couple of months ago, the City Commission brought to a vote to remove, whether or not to remove the 287G agreement. And despite the fact that y'all claim to be Democrats, 3 out of 5 of y'all voted to keep the 287G agreement, collaborating with ICE still. I think y'all should bring that vote back. I think y'all should do what you can to minimize collaboration with ICE, if we are going to keep the 287G agreement, as much transparency as possible, make sure that the community knows what that means for us. The worst that could happen, I know there's a fear that y'all might get removed from office, but y'all are up for re-election. Some of y'all are up for re-election in a couple of months. If you do get removed from office for trying to make this city safer for immigrants, y'all would get reelected. Like, y'all are not in any danger, really. And if you don't, y'all are city commissioners, y'all have connections, you can get a job pretty easily. So please do consider bringing back the vote to remove the 287G agreement, or at the very least, find some way that you can bring transparency to that agreement for the rest of this city. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please.
Next is Delilah Pierre. Then Howard Kessler. Be followed by Sophia Palomo.
Name and address for the record, please.
Thank you. Howard Kessler, 32303. I support dropping the charges on Sadie. The 287G ICE agreement is a terrible agreement. It should be revoked in every part of our country, never mind our county. We have publicly seen how cruel and inhumane ICE has acted. The majority of you commissioners have not spoken out about ICE. How many more children will be torn from their families or held in prisons? Children are being held in detention now for over 100 days, 5 times what is legally permitted. How many more immigrants will be killed or not receive medical treatment and die in ICE detention prisons? How many people will be killed in broad daylight? Multiple ICE agents held Preddy on the ground, took away Preddy's legally permitted gun, and then, after Preddy was disarmed, ICE shot him point-blank range, multiple shots. Now, months later, not one ICE agent has been charged with committing murder. 2 American citizens killed in cold blood in broad daylight by ICE agents, and no one charged with murder. remember good, remember Preddy. How many people, including legal citizens, will have their home doors busted open and marched out into the cold without their clothes? You say that if you oppose ICE, the governor will replace you as a commissioner. So, what are you doing now to protect the citizens from ICE? Nothing. Priority of City Commission is the health and safety of the people of our community. The citizens would like to see some leadership. If the heat's too hot in the kitchen, get out. You continue to take your commissioner paychecks while not protecting your community from ICE. Thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
Sophia Palomo, and then Jennifer Smith. So,
Your name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Sophia Palomo. My zip code is 32304. Recently, the Leon County Sheriff's Office was granted $500,000 in grant money from the State Board of Immigration Enforcement for costs incurred by the 287G agreement. Despite the fact that ICE, using federal funds, provides reimbursement for the annual salary and benefits for each trained and credentialed task force officer who are engaged in immigration enforcement, overtime up to $25,000 of an officer's salary, and $100,000 for purchasing vehicles and transportation costs for each signed memorandum of agreement. End quote. However, this funding was approved, and David O'Keefe told me that roughly $25,000 has been used so far. So in view of where we're at now, there should be extreme transparency on how these funds are being allocated. We deserve to know how this godless ICE agreement throws its money around, since the majority of this commission voted to not take legal action. Despite the fact LCSO is uniquely positioned to exit the agreement because you did not approve it, Reese Go did. I spoke to Walt McNeil, and he told me that the task force agreement was just decorative and no resources were being directed to 287G. So which is it? Are we putting money into this federal agreement more than we need to be? We need to exit this agreement now. We have a very weak legal standing as to why we're in it in the first place. This campaign of funding, we don't know where it's going to go. I had to ask a county commissioner because that information I couldn't find online. We need full transparency as to where this money is going, since there's obviously been no move to leave the agreement in its entirety, which is stupid. Thank you.
While the 287G agreement before the City Commission is an issue that we are talking about and you have strong opinions, you are referring to the 287G agreement with the County Commission that we have no jurisdiction over. The relationship between the sheriff is with the County Commission, not with the City Commission. I encourage you to continue to work with Commissioner O'Keefe and the County Commission for the answers on the money that they received that has nothing to do with the City of Tallahassee. Our next speaker, please.
next is Jennifer Smith, and then Tara Botter.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Smith, 32303. I am here before you today because our community is still not safe and we need you guys to do something about it. Just in Tallahassee alone, we somehow have at least 6 different 287G agreements between FSU, FAMU, TSC, LCSO, FDLE, and of course, the City of Tallahassee Police Department, which is the one that brings me here today. Why do you think we have so many agreements just in one city? It's because they need you. Without your cooperation in these 287G agreements, our current administration would not be able to successfully carry out this massive attack on innocent lives across the nation. I cannot help but wonder how many people would still be alive and with their families right now if every city and every state decided not to participate in 287G. They needed you all to sign that agreement in order for their plan to work. So they threaten you and they incentivize you and they make you feel like you don't have a choice. But your participation is a choice. What if you just choose to say no? There has to be another way. There has to be a way to revoke this agreement or limit your involvement completely so that we can keep people in this community safe. Lives are ruined every day. People are scared to leave their homes, and it is our own police department that is creating fear in this community. And that's not right. You have a choice, and right now, your choice is hurting the people of Tallahassee. How many more lives have to be ruined before you decide that this has gone too far? You have to refuse to accept this. You have to stop TPD's collaboration with ICE. You've made a choice, and I'm asking you to please make a new choice. Thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
Tara Botter, followed by Brandon Beckett.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Tara Botter. My zip code is 32313. I'm also here because you refused to revoke the 287G agreement with ICE, and there are consequences to that. So more people will be arrested for immigration offenses, which makes immigrants less likely to trust the police and report crimes they've been victimized by. People will be more likely to be racially profiled because the Supreme Court ruled that racial profiling tactics are enabled for immigration arrests. They will be sent to detention centers, and I've seen videos of them with my own eyes. They're so incredibly crowded. People are sleeping on the floor within like less than a foot away from each other. They're using tinfoil as mattresses. They're rife with health and safety violations. They have a lack of clean water. Detainees have to skip meals or eat spoiled food. There are serious delays or denials of medical care. And oftentimes there's 24-hour lighting that deprives people of sleep. It was also discovered that in one case, guards made bets on which detainees would kill themselves first. If that doesn't make you livid and cause you to abhor collaborating with the agency committing these crimes, I don't think that you're fit to be where you're standing. This is a human rights issue, and it matters more than you preserving your seats. And on a second point, I also wanted to ask for the charges on my friend Sadie Carlson to be dropped. She was charged with obstructing traffic, but she was not obstructing traffic. The road was closed for the springtime fair. Did the police arrest all the springtime fairgoers for being in the road? No, because they weren't blocking traffic, and neither did Sadie. They arrested her because they wanted to scare people away from protesting and make it a less safe environment to exercise their First Amendment rights. If you care about free speech in this city, you should be trying to pressure FDLE into dropping those charges because her arrest was just blatant repression. Thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
Next speaker is Brandon Beckett, and then Lisa Sears.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Brandon Beckett, and my address is exempt. And I'm here to demand complete transparency in the 287G agreement that TPD has entered into. At the end of last year, Lawrence Revel said clearly that they were only going to train one officer on the 287G agreement, and that they would be enforcing the agreement to its absolute minimum power. The only way we can verify this is if this is true is by asking the chief of police directly. From experience, we have seen Lawrence Revel omit as much information as possible in this agreement and probably a lot of other things, but that's not the point of what I'm trying to say. As a member of the Tallahassee Immigrant Rights Alliance, we demand that all information related to TPD's 287G agreement be made publicly available. Given the lack of transparency from those involved, we cannot simply take the police chief's word on this. It is crucial that community members be aware of any collaboration between the city and ICE. And, you know, just collaboration, all the money that's being put into this, however much money, however many officers are being trained. You know, we think that one officer has been trained, but we have no idea. We have no form of accountability at all. And community members are quickly being disillusioned with local police departments. From shady practices to deaths in custody like that of Keith Lee, and the arrests and charges brought upon fellow immigrant rights activist Sadie Carlson, the first step to restoring community trust And I put heavy emphasis on first step. It's complete transparency so we can work towards community solutions that puts the community first. To be clear, I'm asking that any and all information on TPD's 287G agreement and its enactment be made publicly available immediately. From our experiences in local outreach of community members, a lot of people are scared to even leave their house or their neighborhood because of the environment ICE has created. As city commissioners, you are complicit with that fear and the deaths that have been caused nationwide because of immigration enforcement by taking part in this agreement. The bare minimum is transparency on how it's being used. Thank you.
Our next speaker, please.
Is Lisa Sears. Lisa Sears, and then Brandon Salvo.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Lisa Sears, 32303. So I am here again. I know I've spoken before about the 287G, and I am really proud to stand with the Tallahassee Immigration Rights Alliance that are wonderful, young, intelligent people with a passion for human rights, and that is why I'm with them too. And I work with a lot of the families, and I can personally say that this is a really cruel agreement that's been made that's causing so much fear in our community. I mean, to take it to level 5, children are afraid to come home and not see their parents there, and that has happened. So I really, from the bottom of my heart, ask as a mom and a grandma to please put this up to vote again and say no, because originally it was for the hardened criminals that this was enacted, and it's not. Okay, they're getting a few, but they are totally tearing families apart. And I have had to help a lot of different families. It's something that you can't even grasp unless you are working with them, and it's really, really sad. So please get rid of this. It is not good for our humanity and our human rights. Also, I want to talk about this beautiful young lady here. I am really honored to have her as my friend. One of the most peaceful people I have really ever known. She has been exemplary as a safety marshal. And these are false charges. I can honestly say these are false charges. And it's ridiculous, and I wish that you all could put some pressure, your influence, on getting these charges dropped, because it really is affecting the right to speech. It's creating a fear that we can't trust our own police force, that something is going to be that we can't even speak without false charges being put on, because this was within a barricaded environment for the Springtime Tallahassee that this happened. It totally feels like a setup. And the fact that she was
You have 30
charged
seconds remaining.
for resisting without violence, how do you do that? So, please also do that. I mean, we need to support our young people. This is our future. These people, they work hard at researching things and promoting things and trying to help our community. And I know sometimes you all think they're troublemakers, but they're not. They are trying to make our world better. Thank
You're
you.
at 3 minutes.
Thank you. Our next speaker, please.
Brandon Salvo, followed by Alonzo Garcia.
Your name and address for the record, please.
Brandon Saval, and my zip code is 32301. Today, I am firstly here to ask that the ridiculous charges against my dear friend and community member Sadie Carlson be dropped and that the 287G agreement be repealed. I was there on the day of the No Kings protest, so I can speak firsthand of how ridiculous these charges are. The march was going perfectly peacefully and safely until the intervention of FDLE, and I firmly believe that community members like Sadie are what makes Tallahassee a better city, unlike the lawless criminals that ICE are endangering and ruining this community. In every city seen with increased ICE presence, there's an insurmountable amount of video evidence of these thugs harassing, assaulting, and murdering civilians. And so due to the amount of copious data and videos we can all find on our phones, there is no argument based in reality that ICE does anything to keep anybody safer at all. It merely just shows capitulation to the fascists that are in the White House right now and do nothing but to intimidate and strike fear into communities all over the country. This type of state-sanctioned violence has no place at FSU, no place in Tallahassee, and zero place in America. Just today, since the Trump administration took office, 47 people as of today have died in ICE detention centers. This is because they are not designed to temporarily detain people, they're designed to cause harm and kill people. These are concentration camps in action. There are multiple cases of sexual assaults that are not being investigated by police or ICE agents, and despite so many of these reports, there is not a single bit of effort to protect Tallahassee residents from these monsters. I will agree with the others that have been up on the stand that transparency is the very first step in restoring trust and healing this community to repair some of the damage that this has caused, and the absence of transparency implies that there is something being hidden from the people of Tallahassee. Repeal 287G and drop the charges against Sadie Carlson. Thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Next is Alonzo Garcia.
Name and address for the record, please.
Alonzo Garcia, zip code 32304. Let me know when I start.
Go ahead.
All right. So, Tallahassee Police Department has obviously entered into 287G agreement very recently, in the past year, if I recall correctly.
Could you raise the microphone a little bit so that it can be heard? Thank you.
Sure. Tallahassee Police Department has obviously entered into 287G agreement, so I have multiple campus police departments and LCSO and FDLE. But my point specifically is that, and I think as some of the previous speakers have mentioned, that the specter of law enforcement cooperating directly with ICE is not only making immigrants distrustful of civic services and resources and trusting institutions, it is also making citizens mistrust these institutions and accessing city services. People who look of any complexion like lighter or darker than this sheet of paper are going to be very mistrustful of the fact that, you can drive without getting harassed, even though one can be a citizen. Citizens have not been exempt from this, kind of reign of terror that has been going on across the country, and it certainly it keeps coming home. It will keep coming home. And we don't want to wait until there is an irreversible tragedy coming to this city. That is, that's when, there's just no going back. And, obviously we don't want something like that to happen. We don't want what's happened in Minnesota come here, and we should be doing everything you can, to avoid that. As to the matter of the charges on my friend Sadie Carlson, I think these charges are malicious and should be dropped. If we want to keep the culture of a First Amendment that we have in this country, these things must be defended one action at a time. These erosions are simply that, erosions. They must be defended. You have to defend the culture of the First Amendment, and that happens even here, even though you guys aren't, this isn't, the big show of the federal government. This is where stuff like this, where these erosions happen. And the specter of an authoritarian police state does not encroach in big swoops. It happens through small actions. And whether it's the 287G agreement or the charges on our friend, Sadie Carlson, these things do not happen in isolation. They are part of a bigger mosaic, and if you take a
30
moment
seconds.
to be conscious of those things, I think it is incumbent upon you to do what you can in your positions to really make a difference and change realities on the ground. If you won't, then we're going to keep trying, and we're going to keep doing our best to really force the agenda by any means. So, thank you.
Next speaker, please.
Jackson Nolder. Jackson Nolder is our last speaker at this time.
Name and address for the record, please.
My name is Jackson Nolder, and my zip code is 32317. At the end of 2025, the Tallahassee Police Department entered an agreement with Flock Security to install 30 Flock Safety automatic license plate readers, or ALPRs. These cameras automatically snap photos of identifying car information, such as make, model, and bumper stickers, and then use AI to compile this data into a searchable database for law enforcement officers to track stolen vehicles or other vehicle-based crimes, such as Amber Alerts, grand theft, or a variety of crimes, really. Which in and of itself is not a problem. I don't particularly have an issue with the use of a security camera by law enforcement. My problem mainly pertains to the company Flock itself and their lack of transparency in how they have distributed these cameras. Flock has been reported by a number of security experts, particularly MITRE, which tracks a lot of security vulnerabilities, that put the data collected by Flock at risk to any nefarious actors. In particular, Flock has such poor security that through targeted Google searches, you can have direct access to these cameras. They're indexed by Google, so just any old browser, you can pull them up, watch them for yourself. And as I understand, Florida, the guidelines put in place by the Tallahassee Police Department, in the event and use of a third-party software, third-party AI solution or service, the vendor must adhere to the same requirements that the Tallahassee Police Department adheres to, including up-to-date tools such as antivirus, anti-malware, ransomware protections, and other intrusive and preventative detection methods. That being said, none of those are in place at the moment. Flock has routinely deflected, claiming they have never been hacked. They have never been, they have no vulnerabilities that are of significance. And plainly put, it's not true. The data collected by TPD is not safe. It is also distributed across across the entire nationwide network.
You're at 30 seconds.
Flock. And all in all, I ask that the agreement between TPD and Flock be canceled. That's what I have.
All right. That brings unagended speakers to a close. We're on the commission sharing of ideas. Mayor Pro Tem, we'll start with you.
I just want to thank each and every person who prayed for my daughter to make it home safely from the Middle East. She was serving our country in the United States Navy and notified me today that she is back on American soil, and hopefully we'll get an opportunity, her mother and I, to see her in person soon. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Excellent. Commissioner Williams-Cox.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and we are very appreciative that she's back. I received a request for a guest at another street renaming, and I forwarded that to the city manager's office, and I'm coming now to ask the city commission the commissioners to consider doing a historic designation for Circle Drive for Dr. Charles and Connie Evans. A request came in from a family member asking that we consider that. So I am going to make the motion that an agenda item comes back at our next meeting to let us know what needs to be done to move forward with that.
I think you said historic. Did you mean honorary?
Yeah, I meant honorary, yes.
Okay.
Honorary designation.
Motion second.
It's been a long day.
Yes.
Motion second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, passes unanimously.
Thank you, that's all I have.
Sure, Commissioner Matlow.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First of all, thank you to the public speakers. Over the course of the last year, we've seen millions of people peacefully protesting across our country, and I do think that's a fundamental right as an American to be able to express your voice. You know, thankful for the peaceful nature. I think at all times we should do everything we can to stand on the side of speech and err towards de-escalation and community safety. I know recent events in Tallahassee aren't related to TPD or this body, but I do think as as things move forward, we should always have that as the primary goal. On the 287G agreement, I've been on the record to attempt to rescind it. I think we should still rescind it. I think the actions that ICE is taking, continues to take across our country are inhumane and un-American, and don't think that local governments have any role, shape, or form in federal immigration, and it shouldn't be obligated to our budgets to do anything related to it. With that question, Mr. Manager, can we give an update? Are we still just one officer trained under that agreement? And can you provide any update on the work that they've performed? Can you speak to, I'm sorry.
Same information that Chief Revel gave in the past. It's the one officer that is trained to just input information. If we do come across somebody that we know, we're obligated to put that information in the system, and that's it. But we don't participate in any raids. We don't go out with ICE. We don't participate, and they don't ask us to go out with them.
Okay, and so their day-to-day job isn't active immigration enforcement?
Oh, no, sir.
No. Thank you.
Okay.
I've previously voted to rescind the agreement. I still stand by that. I think in a collegial body, I won't continue to force the vote, but if anyone in the majority wishes to rescind the decision or revisit it, I stand ready to rescind the agreement when able. Thank you. That's all I have tonight.
Commissioner Porter.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I also stand ready to rescind the agreement whenever we're ready. What I wanted to discuss is, and I hate that I'm not in person to do it, I just wanted to recognize a friend of mine, and I think two others on this board, Nancy Metayer, Coral Springs City Commissioner, who was killed a few weeks ago. She was active with the League of Cities, with Local Progress. She was a beautiful person. I believe that Commissioner Williams-Cox worked with her as well in her capacity with the Florida League of Cities. And I just wanted to recognize her service to Coral Springs, to the state. A lot of people knew Nancy, loved Nancy. I believe there's a vigil that is being planned for April 20th coming up. So I just wanted to recognize her. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
And Nancy attended FAMU, so we have strong connections, and she has a lot of friends that are mourning here in Tallahassee.
And it was my understanding that she was going to be announcing her run for Congress.
Yeah. Okay, that concludes our meeting. It's been a great meeting. At 6:44, we are adjourned.